little Goody Two Shoes.
Okay. It is dawn in the village square. I don't quite remember everything that was going on, but we'll figure it out. I remember we had a whole, like, in the forest sequence, but Rosamarine wasn't there like we thought it was the witch. I've got 3 witch hats for suspicion. Oopsie. We acquire the tender flesh, which we have something for it, but wasn't there's like an indication that we were supposed to do something else with it? Maybe sold for a low price. Fancy kerchief may sell for a reasonable price. Pretty kerchief daintily embroidered and hemmed with delicate lace. Lebkuchen. That one girl named Lebkuchen. An emerald brooch given to Elise by her grandmother on her deathbed. Tinderbox, a rusty tin box meant for carrying packet with broomed. Oh, look who we have with us. Wasn't there a whole thing about, like... Oh, yeah, it was like, eat extra bread to bring Rosamarine with you, because if you leave Rosamarine on her own, the stupid bitch inspires problems in town. Forevermore decorated with blooming flowers. Kieferberg's crest rests atop the square fountain in all of its glory. I need this. Meet Lebkuchen by the bakery later on. Story event. Find out what happened. We'll be scraping bird poop off the roofs for weeks, Selma. Oh, Elise, would you take a look at this nonsense? These crows, I see. All of Kieferberg is thick with the filthy things. I told everyone I'd seen them yesterday, Mrs. Elma. They're a pest, and Lord knows where they've come from. Oh, but they're not dangerous, I'm certain. What are you saying, lass? Of course they are. You'd best talk some sense into your cousin, Elise. She's clearly not all there, the poor lass. All right, let's go, Rosamarine. Ah, yes. I can't go in the church. Get out of here, you stupid foggy crows. Spend quality time with your sweetheart every day. Many blemished, discolored, and wrinkled apples await to be fed to livestock. Filled to the brim with apples, the barrel stands unyielding despite the visible gaps between its planks. It's still so weird to me that this symbol is the way it is. How can I help you, darling? I'm selling. Should I sell the fancy kerchief? Are you sure that's all, sweetheart? I'm buying? What do I want? Oh, it shows how many of each thing you already have. Hearty soup is 2 hearts and 2 food. Roast turkey. Sure that's all, sweetheart? Goodbye, Miss Velma. You have such lovely features. Did you know that? Yeah, last time there was ravens. We went into the forest to go meet up with the ravens. I don't remember every tiny detail of it, but I'm sure a lot of it's going to end up coming to my mind as we start playing it. We thought we had, she thought she had gone into the forest with Rosamarine originally to go and meet with, like, the Raven Spirit King, whatever the hell it was, And it ended up not being Rose and Marine. And talking to Rose and Marine the next morning, Rose and Marine said that she got stuck outside and couldn't get into the forest. Fashioned out of an old barrel, the rickety cart rests cradling a couple worn-out buckets. Covered in clusters of ivy, Kieferberg's water well overlooks the valley down below. Don't I have a key for this or something? Game? Oh no. It broke. Yeah, I have like a fish key or something.
Little Goody Two Shoes.
And I guess when we, after the whole forest with all the birds, we woke up, came to town, and all this had happened. Let's talk to them again. We'll speed through it. You can skip. Do they stay gone if I chase them away? I'll have to see by coming back this way. Oh, I sold that stuff there originally. Water well. There's nothing going on. Don't talk to the water well. Don't do anything with the well yet. For some reason it's broken. I have no idea. I did see in the forums that there's some bugs in the game that were never fixed and people were really irritated with that. This is probably one of them.
Little Goody Two Shoes.
Da-da-da-da. Let's go sell our stuff. Kieferberg's maypole leans clumsily into the side, still stripped of its main decorations. I get so lonely all by myself in this inn. Are you sure that's all, sweetheart? You have such lovely features. No use whining about it, Jakob. It's a no. But Granny... What's wrong, Mrs. Marlin? It's Apfel, lass. He came down with a fever last night. I've heard, yes. Do you know if he's feeling better, Mrs. Marlin? He is. It seems the fever was gone in the morning, but Lebkuchen said the poor lad was delirious. Oh, please let me go see him, Granny. Absolutely not, Jakob, and that's final. Where is he right now, Mrs. Marlin? In church, I've heard. Oh, I could go wait for him by the fountain. Wait for your father to come back, Jakob. I wouldn't want you at these birds' mercy either. But Granny, this also goes for you too. Don't go near these crows, you hear? Oh, but have they hurt anyone? Lord knows they could. I mean, Rosamarine's right. It's all like, why are you guys all being bitches about this? Fully packed in golden, the wheat heads sway gently in the spring breeze. See, fish key. I wonder if I can use the fish key right now. Here's what I'm gonna do, so we don't have to do all this shit again. No, they don't stay away for good. We're gonna go and we're gonna save. We'll save over what we had just done. And rather than interacting with it, I'm gonna see about just trying to use the key directly on it. Get out! Get out, birds! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! The pretty red shoes! Okay. Doesn't seem like this is what I should be using here. What, really? Oh, wasn't I going to... Oh, I just remembered. So I have the Wheat Testament. I was gonna go take the Wheat Testament and see if I could mill it at that one-tout mill. Because then I was gonna see about baking it into a piece of bread. Where's the mill? I'm trying to remember where the mill is. Up here? Yeah. Ah, shit! I don't want to listen to you people. Rosamarine's right. I ought to find a way to get in here. Asking around town should be enough, but... Doesn't seem like this is where I should be using this. Workbench is outside, typically used by the townsfolk keeper to bag newly milled flour. I'll take good care of it, Father. There's nothing to see here, Elise. You'd best head back to town. You were the one who first saw these crows, weren't you, Elise? It's not as though you folks believed me when it mattered. Said it last night, now say it again. You're hiding. Matters not, old Yoken. Must focus on the matter at hand. We all had our fill of trouble last night, didn't we? We don't need any more yelling, that's for certain. Now, they didn't steal that much grain, folks. How much did they steal, Mr. Gustav? About a sack in total. We got here in time to prevent the worst. Darn birds were building a nest in the oven. We ought to give it a good scrubbing later. Doesn't seem they're keen on attacking us, at least. We've locked it up and trusted Eugen here with the key for now. I appreciate the trust. Of course, especially as after all of yesterday's goings-ons. Because he was stolen from, or because he has no horses to steal the grain with. Let's just stand guard, then. Before we get into that, Bernhard, there's something I'd like to say. We're all well aware of what happened last night, however, we ought to stick together, folks, now more than ever. You heard the man. Kieferberg is what we make of it, don't forget that. I'll head back to church. Zapfel feeling better, Father. That's what I'm looking into, Finn. You best go with him, at least. Leb Kuchen will fill you in, I'm certain. Will do, Mr. Gustav. Here, whoa. was wondering, Elise. Mr. Bernhardt said the crows were trying to make a nest in the oven. I suppose it's a cozy little nook. I don't see what's so... So there's an oven in the windmill, right? There's always been an oven in the windmill, Rosemarine. What's your... The tender flesh, Elise? Wouldn't this be a good way to prepare it? Making bread out of it, you say? Maybe you could ask about town if they'd let you in.
Now that you mention it...
That's rather risky, Rosemarine. I suppose, but... I can't think of any other way either, not if I want to find him. It's worth a try, I'd say. Alright, I'll see what I can find out. Say, Rosemarine, you know how to sew, don't you? Somewhat, yes. That explains it, I suppose. Explains what? Why the patches on your dress are so clumsy? We could ask Mrs. Marielle to help you, you know. Oh, but I quite like my dress. That's alright. But I'd say you deserve better, newer clothes is all. I don't need better, Elise. This is my dress. It's been with me for years now. All these patches and tears mean something to me, you see. What does that moon-shaped one mean, then? Oh, this is from an old blanket of mine. Brings me comfort to have it with me wherever I go. And the squares? Granny patched it for me when I fell off a tree. I can't bring myself to part with it now that she's gone. Is it the same dress if it's all been replaced? Are we going down that path? Fine, you have your reasons. I appreciate the thought, Elise. I'd say they stuck it through the roof, Gustav. When did you realize the crows were in the windmill, Mr. Ludwig? Heinrich came about to collect some flour this morning. He was the one who gave the alert. So you've locked it up, have you? We must keep those birds out, Elise, or they'll take all our grain. Maybe if you scattered some grain elsewhere, Mr. Gustav, then the windmill could still be available, and we've thought about that, Elise. Nobody was in favor of wasting any more grain, lass. I see. We ought to keep a close eye on the windmill, Elise. You can have a word with Eugen, perhaps. No, of course. It's like a broom isn't the same if you change the head. Better days will come, lad. When I'm settled in Primmeldorf, God willing. Don't make hasty decisions, Eugen. What is it, Elise? You're rather trusted, Mr. Eugen, with the key to the windmill, even. The lass is right, Eugen. It's a shame for you to leave. Nothing I could do about that, folks. There's nothing left for me here in Kieferberg, you see. Still, I think everyone will miss you, Mr. Eugen. Please reconsider. No, I've made up my mind, but I do appreciate it, Elise. Even this key, I will be holding on to it until this evening. Until the evening, Mr. Eugen? It's too much responsibility, lass. I'm not too comfortable with it in my pocket, I must admit. Why not hand it over to someone else, then? I could take it to Mr. Gustav if you'd like. That's all right, Elise. There's no better place than the Kieferberg, lad. Why don't you just hand it over here, Mr. Eugen? It's just... you fucking piece of shit. Where do I see my... Oh. Ask Eugen about the key later on. Talk to Elizabeth in the church for the next part of the story. Several rows of beets. Some of them are looking rather wilted and dry. Maybe someone should water them then. Forgot how much I love the music in this. What's up, old woman? She's so certain Rosemarine and I are hiding something. Did Miffy spread this around about town, or... Oh god, Mippy, Mappy, Muffy, Muppy. I always get myself into trouble with this group. Mrs. Brunhilde's rather insecure, isn't she? I think I talked to them last time, and that's where I got the third witch hat from. Forevermore, where do we think I need to use this key? Kept burning in the wake of a prayer, each candle's flame flickers in serene devotion. Polished, completely smooth, the pearly stone basin sits untouched. Fuck off, people! It's nice to see you, Elise. You've heard about Apfel, I assume. Allie heard he was ill, but that's all. Oh, the poor lad, I can't bear looking at his little hands. What about them, Mrs. Dorothea? It's best you hear from me, Elise, so you get the real story. You've been up all night, Lisbeth, we can tell her. Apfel is fine now, as you can see, but last night I was awoken by him moaning, speaking nonsense. His fever was boiling him alive. I called for Father Hans and brought him to church, but Apfel had never been so ill, I thought I'd lose him. He wasn't all there either, kept mumbling to himself. And I don't know how, but his hands are injured. It's horrifying, and they were so bloody. It's as if they were pecked at by something. I can't explain it. Please collect yourself, Mrs. Lisbeth. That's right, Mrs. Lisbeth. Take deep breaths. First I thought he'd caught the ghost sickness somehow, but it doesn't explain his hands or what happened to my goats. Oh, this is my disgrace. It's all right, Mrs. Lisbeth. We're here for you. It's all right.
You know,
What about the goats? Must have happened while we were praying for Apfel in church. When Mrs. Lisbeth went to fetch him dry clothes, she happened upon two of her goats lying in the ground. They'd bled to death, their tongues had been ripped out, and their heads were severed too. You can rest assured we'll help you, Mrs. Lisbeth. I shall arrange for a doctor to come as soon as possible. You had a doner kebab? Did you kill the goats, Retro? What am I to do with one sick goat, Father? Let it die. I'll make certain you and the children don't go without, Mrs. Lisbeth. You're welcome to have supper with Finn and I any time, Lisbeth. Thank you, but I don't have strength, Dorothea. Mrs. Dorothea will be looking after Apfel, Mrs. Lisbeth. You best go home and rest for the day. Of course, Father, thank you. Come, I'll walk with you and Apfel home.
I'm sorry,
This is awful, Elise. I had to pay them a visit later. No comment. Oh my god, we lost a whole piece of bread while we were doing this shit. One thing after another, isn't it? The first things first. I had to figure out how I'm going to get my hands on that key. There are tasks available. Polished and completely smooth, the pearly stone basin sits untouched. I keep on accidentally trying to use my matches. We need food. So I think if you and Rosa and Marine do a chore, I think it uses 3 bread. Because I think it uses an extra 2. Oh my fucking god. Bitch! Any luck, Elise? No, I think I've lost it, Rosemarine. Folks won't let me through it all, and Mr. Eugen won't give me the key. I see. You could somehow prepare it in there, Elise. I know. I do have that oven in the backyard, but... That's true. Why don't we use that instead, Rosemarine? No, I'd say those crows were trying to tell you something, Elise. That gathering in the windmill, huh? They're urging you to do it, that's for certain. I don't think there's anything else I could do, Rosemarine. That's asking for, like, why aren't we using the oven in the backyard? Aside from the fact that we need to grind the hell out of this. Help Marlon with the chickens, help Guido chop some wood. I hate the wood chopping game. The chickens I'm a lot better at. She's so adorable! Looking for Cheeky again today, dearie. I'm buying. What does Miffy want? Does she want Lebkuchen? I don't remember. I think she does. Anything else? Some pretzels, maybe? See you. Gotta eat more, Elise. Eat up. But Leb gives us free bread if we're lucky in the evenings. If we're lucky. The fuck out of my face. Close off from the main path, the old home's walls show their vulnerability to the woodland's growth. It looks like it used to be a shop with a giant-ass window in the front that's just shattered. I'm gonna check on the oven in the backyard. Is that a child? The one that sold us? No, she's a little old lady! We've known of her for a very long time. Can we do anything down here in the forest? Probably not. The fuck out of here! No. Bum 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 bum. We're just running. I'm just checking to see if there's anything in the backyard. Nothing there. I suppose I had to chop some more wood soon, just when I'd gotten rid of all those pesky splinters and blisters. Covered in aged scars, the tree trunk sits bare, its dry surface exposed to the elements. That's the tutorial.
Mushroom.
Oh god. Spooky Scary Clown, thank you for the follow. I love how charmingly adorable this game seems to be, and then you get to the creepy aspects. You know what we have? We have a broom. Can I actually use the broom to clean that? Where is the broom? Broom. Doesn't seem like this is what I should be using here. Is there anything else I could just use? Mysterious note, diary entry, tattered note. This is another prayer. Hallowed Walpurga, sanctified be thy name. I beg thou for a sign, a testimony to my plea. May accept this offering, the remnants of thy miracle. Kieferberg welcomes thy blessings, thy guidance. Someone must be leaving these around, but who? Something else at the bottom. Find proof of our faith up at the peaks. Buried within the windmill that once was. That's where this game looks so cool. I've been enjoying it so far. We've only been playing it on Fridays, and we've only been doing it we've been doing it for a few weeks. It looks like there's 10 different endings. The game's adorable. It sounds adorable. It is dark as hell when it gets into the scarier points. Like we are a little girl that lives on her own who is has a friend that's staying with her friend, someone who ended up tearing up her home technically, and she ended up finding, who's technically staying with her. They're lying to the townspeople, saying that it's her cousin, so that no one will suspect her. But there is rumors of a witch, and now like we're slowly building up like suspicion that we're the witch because we don't know how to keep our mouths shut. Wait, what does this do? Oh, we have no love interest in Rosamarine or Freya. We've been going for Leb, but Leb doesn't even have a heart. That's 6 hearts? How the hell do you do that? What? We're on Wednesday morning. We have until Sunday. I don't know what I'm doing on this. Okay, let's just go. Maybe I'm supposed to use the key... Where's the... There's one of those chores. There's another chore. I'm gonna go and... I'm gonna save it first, because we know better. We need to bring Rosamarine with us to one of them, otherwise she opens her mouth too much. She also has a chance of us being able to get an S rank pretty easily. Dumb bitches, I'm not talking to them. This dumb... Here, let's open our mouths to them. Oh, can't Saturday come any sooner? This week has brought us nothing but trouble. These crows all about town, too. We ought to have believed you yesterday, Elise. Doesn't matter anymore, Mrs. Arian. All that's keeping me in good spirits is the festival, if I'm honest. You've heard about Opville, Elise? Poor boy. I'll ask Mrs. Elizabeth what I can do for her later. She hasn't had time to look after herself, I'd wager. Oh, I can't bring myself to smile on days like these. That reminds me, Heinrich's been spending the night out there. Because of the crows, isn't it? Together with Eugen, I heard. Poor lad hasn't had time to come to terms with what happened yesterday. Eugen will be gone by Sunday, you can mark my words. Mrs. Wilma! I mean, she's probably not wrong. No, I'm going over here first. We're probably gonna crash the game. But I'm trying this on the well again. Or the fountain. Why is the fountain bugged? I have to crash the... I have to Alt F4 out. We'll come back in. I don't know why the fountain is bugged. Why it's doing that, or what it's supposed to... It feels like something is supposed to happen there, but because I didn't do A, B, or C, it's not happening, and as a result, when you go to interact with it, it just freezes, it breaks, and then you're stuck in that non-cutscene cutscene. Playing Hogwarts and Mystery and Dumbledore is on his same bullshit. I don't know if you know. Is that one of the mobile ones?
Little Goody Two Shoes.
Just lost 60 points. Just kidding, got 100 points. I'm Dumbledore. 55,000 points to Gryffindor. Ah, you're just who I needed, Elise. Is there anything I can help with, Mr. Guido? I don't have time to chop for wood for the fireplace today, you see. I hate the wood chopping game. I'll do it for you. Will you be on patrol, Mr. Guido? Standing guard by the windmill, last. Someone has to keep those wretched crows out of our grain. Yep, we're taking Rosamarine. Why don't they ask Freya to chop it for them instead? One button chops and the other one kicks it, and I don't remember which is which. Okay, chop or kick. Okay, got it. Oh shit, ow! Why did she put the goat on there? Ow. Tiger. Stop it! Do you want wood or duck or chickens? Ducks. Tiger. Motherfucker, tiger. Tiger's rubbing hardcore against my legs. Hey. Tiger. Tiger. Shit. God damn it. Ow. This is a shitty... This is why I hate this one. I almost killed the goat. Lepkuchen keeps coming off to the side to go, stop! That was bad. That was bad. That was really bad. We'll try again. The ninja kick. Ah, god damn it! Stop putting chickens down, Rosa Marine! She's like, how about this chicken? How about this chicken? How about the goat? Oops. Got 44 this time. Got even higher than that. Just give me an A at least. Yeah, I think if you get 50 or higher, you probably get an S. I will take that. You win. Ah, aren't you a godsend? Here you go, Elise, for your time. I went from 58 to what? 98, so 40. Thank you, Mr. Guido. I think you get over 100 if you end up doing an S rank. You remember having a rival girl? In what? We're dying of starvation. Look at this. Grape juice will give us plus 10. So, this is why I bought the Lepkuchen. It's best you start confessing, Dorothea. A mother's sin passes on to her child, you know. Oh, for goodness sakes! Why, it's a fact, Elise. What you ought to do, Dorothea, is wear your rosary all 9 months. Oh, I will. But Brunhilde, she... What about Mrs. Brunhilde? She's been doing these divinations. I don't think those work anyhow. It's old wives' tales and whatnot. Still, Elise, it could be harmful if she goes too far. With this witch nonsense about town, too. It may have been her who brought us all these crows, even. Oh, for goodness sakes, Mrs. Lauralee. Honestly, Lauralee, we can't go around making accusations left and right. She would never do such a thing, Mrs. Lauralee. All right. You don't all have to pounce on me like that. Wait, did my suspicion go down? I did pay attention to that. You love badgers and gardening, so it's an easy pick for you. What? You wonder how cute... God fucking damn it, Muffy Mippy Mappy.
Muffy?
It's you! That's enough. I'm not giving you one more crumb. But you promised me some Lebkuchen. I promise you nothing, Mercy. Folks already think it's strange, Elise, that you knew about the crow since yesterday.
That's so.
You know what? Why don't you go ahead? Who's to believe a scrawny little squealer like you anyhow? Old Yokin does, Elise. Mrs. O'Dilly does too. Oh, do they? What are you telling them then? That I saw you talking to those crows yesterday. There was a good golden one too, wasn't there? Why, you? The following you about town is truly so much fun, Elise. I just know you have the Lebkuchen you promised me tucked away somewhere. Fucking little bitch.
Alright.
Keep your mouth shut, you hear? I don't want to add any more to these folks' imaginations. Why, but they're not imagining anything, are they?
Oh, shush it.
Shut up, Muddy. Not one more word about this. I'll keep quiet, but I was wondering. I gave you what you wanted, so go away. All right, but why don't you just bring me some hearty soup tomorrow? Off with you, Mandy. Says it'll be safe for today. Fucking little bitch. So what did we get our suspicions down to one hat now. Don't go losing your wits like that, O'Dilly. Maybe best to rest for the day, Mrs. O'Dilly. Is everything all right? Eek! What's gotten into her? O'Dilly's terrified of the crows, Elise. Old Yokin's right. It's that lassie and her cousin. Oh, for goodness sakes. This isn't good for you, O'Dilly. Think about your health. Your heart can't take much more. Oh, but I can't settle down, Marielle. The Lord is with Kieferberg. We must not forget that. You ought to put your faith in him, Mrs. O'Dilly. That's right, O'Dilly. You can't get swayed by whatever old Yokin says. Do I look like a witch to you, Mrs. O'Dilly? Oh, I wouldn't know, lass. What do you mean you wouldn't know? Don't rile her up, Elise. We'll take care of her, don't you worry, dearie. I wonder if they burn her at the stake if you end up getting suspicion maxed out. And now I want to max out suspicion to see what the end game is at that point. Get the hell out of the way. What is Rosamarine doing? What are you doing? This is tiring, Rosamarine. Asking about town, you mean? No, I don't think we can count on that. I should have chosen my words a little more carefully, I suppose. That's all right, Elise. We'll find a way. It's a little too late for that, Rosamarine. If only I could turn back time and attempt it again. By the way, Elise, folks are rather relentless. You haven't been asking about town yourself, have you? No, of course not. All right, well, I'll call you for you if I need you. I'll be here, Elise. Wait, what was it she was talking about? Hold on. I ought to be careful. I wouldn't want folks suspecting me. Meet the Lebkuchen by the bakery. Play Kiss the Rat with the kids? No. You should weave in more of the blue flowers, Linda. Didn't we leave the maypole to Freya this year? Freya clearly has better taste anyhow. I don't remember inviting you to this conversation, lassie. Come now, Mrs. Vilma. Freya's not even finished with it yet. I'd say she'd be sad if you changed it without telling her, Mrs. Vilma. Why, I'd never do such a thing. I trust her judgment. I'm having her lend a hand with the wreaths, too, so you can find even more faults in her work. I see. I haven't asked you for a reason. It's best we keep calm. They live here? Is this where Apfel lives? Come here. You keep rubbing. You keep rubbing. Putters. I'm gonna end up with so much putter fur. Hi. Hi. How are you? Hello. Hello. Are you not being loved? You're not getting any love? Put down. Yeah. That's not the way to go. You go this way. He's trying to go the way that gives him no room to do anything. Where's Bodhi? need to get hearty soup for her next time. Stupid bitch! This is just the bakery, so she doesn't have anything else. It's always lovely seeing you. I'm buying. So the problem with constantly paying, what's her bitch face off is, Mippy Mappy Muffy is... Alright, let's just do this. There she is. I'll spend some time with her. Well, years at least, but make it quick. You're not making this any easier, are you? I wouldn't say it's supposed to be easy, Elise.
No,
Lebkuchen, I know it's Lebkuchen, but we're saying Lebkuchen. I'm truly sorry about what happened yesterday. For all the trouble you went through afterward, too. It's alright, Elise. I forgive you.
Lebkuchen.
Huh? More importantly, won't you lend me a hand? On the swing, I mean. Why won't you let me apologize? Why? Haven't you already?
For goodness sake.
Properly, Lebkuchen. You can't just say you forgive me. I'm fairly certain I can, Elise. I haven't even done anything to. You keeping me company every day is more than enough, I'd say.
Lebkuchen.
Come now, give me a push, will you? This takes all afternoon. You're truly... Push harder, Elise! Don't say such things. I'll make it up to you, Lub. I promise I will.
Oh, Elise.
You remember what you did to my shoes that time, Elise?
For goodness sake.
Oh, don't start with those stories. Using old Wilhelm's saw to take out the heels. I thought they were hurting you. All you ever did was stand all day. The night you broke my bedroom window with a rock.
Shit, you.
I was trying to call you outside, Lub. You also hid all my veils and habits in the abandoned house once. Why is Elise a problem child? I never liked you having to wear all that nonsense. That's true. You never did. Remember that one time you... I remember it all, Lebkuchen. Quit embarrassing me. I mean, a Lebkuchen. That's why I'm so upset, Leb. All I ever seem to do is get you in trouble. That's true. You've always been a bit of a nuisance. Took you long enough, too. I wouldn't have it any other way. I care about you, Elise. You know that by now. I know that, but... Come now. I've been telling you that I care about you just as much, Lebkuchen. What's there to get flustered about? You... Say I'll be home tomorrow morning to lend a hand. I'll be there, Leb. Alright, but you can't steal all the filling again.
For goodness sake.
I was 6 years old, Lebkuchen.
Lebkuchen?
Wait right there, you. Building love, achieve one heart with someone. I'm winning her heart over so I can rip it out and offer it to the darkness. It's the only reason we're going after her. If I could somehow sacrifice her over for more power, I'm doing it. Help Elma with the apples, help Marielle chop some wood. Didn't know you were coming with Elise. Where to, Mrs. Linda? Stopping by Lisbeth's, Elise. Oh, my poor Jakob wouldn't settle down. It's taking a toll on the children, that's for certain. I mean to ask her if they would like to spend the night with us. They'd appreciate spending some time together, I'd wager. Lisbeth will most likely want to watch over Apfel, Linda. Oh, that's true. Apfel's seen those goats, he tells me. It's such a horrible sight for someone his age. I'll come about later, too. I'm concerned about Mrs. Lisbeth. Oh, me too. Her being a widow, also. What does that have to do with any of this, Mrs. Brynhilda? Truly, Brynhilda, don't be so superstitious. Oh, I suppose. This entire town is full of a bunch of gossipy gossips. I was wondering, Elise, did you find it strange the crows are still hanging about town? now that you mention it. I already got the testament. There's no real reason for them to stay. Unless there's something else they want from you, Elise. Such as... Oh, I wouldn't know. Something else they're wanting? They guided you to the windmill. I suppose that was nice of them. Oh, how nice of them indeed. Maybe they're waiting to tell you something else? We'll see about that, Rosemarine. Oh, there's the priest. I was starting to think you wouldn't come about, Elise. We have yet to discuss what happened last night. What about it, Father? Those crows you claim to have seen, are they the same ones that... Are you expecting me to know them by name, or... Oh, because she found all the crows covering a dead horse in the crossroads, and when they went back, everything was gone. I'm asking you nicely, Elise. Let's not try each other's patience. I saw the crows, that's all there is to it. Folks are afraid, and that's not entirely true, Elise. What is it you want from me, Father? A confession? Not necessarily, Elise. All I would like is... Old Yoken spreading his nonsense about town left and right, yet I'm the one folks are talking about. Gotta know all these goings-on are affecting folks. I'll have you know, none of this is any of your business, Father, or anyone else's for that matter. But rather deceitful, I've heard. In that case, I believe we're very much done here, Father. Bitch! I still want to try and go to the... You! As though you've never had a fever yourself, old Yoken. The lad was crying out to the witch, Matilda. Where exactly did you hear such nonsense, Mr. Yoken? Ah, at least finally someone to talk some sense into this fool. Lisbeth herself said the lad was delirious, lass. Mrs. Lisbeth never said anything about a witch, Mr. Yoken. You ought to stop spreading this nonsense about town. Folks are already tense enough as it is, Yoken. Old Stefan warned us about this, Matilda. If I may ask, Mr. Old Yoken, what's so special about old Stefan's word? I must say I'm curious, too. Old Stefan knew Kieferberg was to face many trials, lass. And now we're seeing them right before our own eyes. What about the witch, then? Very true, I'm yet to see her out about, Yoken. Time will reveal all, I say. Freya. Oh, Elise, Mrs. Wilma's working me like a donkey today. When doesn't she? I'm sorry, Elise, I didn't mean to yell. All of Kieferberg is on edge today, Freya. You need to let off a little steam, too. Oh, I can't help it. I should bring some cheer back into folks' days, Elise. Who made it your duty to do such a thing? Why, I did. We're all grumpy enough as it is. I can't make it even worse. Folks don't appreciate your cheer enough, Freya. Oh, Elise. We can't blame them, can we? Don't you get tired of getting nothing in return? Why, but this is who I am, Elise. I enjoy looking after folks as best I can. I can't help it. You're truly... I suppose it does make me look a little foolish, doesn't it? Let's get the hearty soup now. I don't know if I'm gonna give it to her, because she's starting to pick more and more expensive stuff. Dear fucking god, it's 30. Dumb bitch. Should I get another one? It heals, as well as giving you hunger, which is way more than what I need. Sure that's all, sweetheart? That's it. I'll be here if you need me, darling. Can someone, like, sacrifice Muppy for, like, blackmailing people in this economy? Like... I'm afraid I'm gonna break the game by touching it again, but I know I need to. Covered in clusters of ivy, Kieferberg's water well overlooks the valley down below. But I don't know if I need to do it at night or during the day. It's obvious it's where you use the key. I must apologize last. To me, Mr. Bernhard? Had we believed you last night, we could have prepared ourselves. I can't say I see how, if I'm honest. Could have locked the granary for starters. Makes one wonder why they're perched here in Kieferberg. It's a rare sight, that's for certain. Have you seen crows here before, Bernhard? Long time ago, almost 20 years ago. Wasn't nearly as bad as this, however. It's best we have a word with Father Hans. About what, Mr. Heinrich? Kieferberg needs some direction, Elise. I must agree, Heinrich. Gustav's struggling to find common ground with Father Hans, too. It is true Father Hans doesn't seem too concerned, that's for certain. We must tell him his folks need him. We don't have to ask... The pigs are still here? Want to give me the key? Rosmarine's right. I ought to find a way to get in here. Asking around town should be enough, but... Let's not get too close, last. Lord knows they might swoop down for that brooch of yours. Aren't you making too much of it, Mr. Tristan? No, he's right, Elise. It is dangerous. Can't seem to settle down with these crows flying about. And Apfel's fever, too. What if it's contagious? Apfel's feeling better already, Mr. Tristan. Father Hans is urging us to stay calm, folks. We must see to our duties and nothing more. Easier said than done, Ludwig. Mr. Tristan, there was a theft, Tristan. Nothing strange about that. Apfel's fever was just that, a fever. And I'd wager these crows will give up on our grain soon enough, too. I'm still not convinced, Ludwig. So maybe I should just do a chore? What are the two chores? Elma with the apples, and then chop some wood. I kind of would rather do the apple. Oh, won't you lend me a hand, Elise? What do you need, Mrs. Marielle? Some wood for the hearth, if it's not too much trouble. I think I used to be able to do it myself. I'm sorry, I'm rather busy. Fuck off. Fuck off with you and your wood chopping needs. Where's the other one? Over there. Right there. Save again. Ah, there you are. How can I help you, Mrs. Elma? I was wondering if you could fetch me some apples, Elise. If the crows haven't eaten them all, that is. Of course, Mrs. Elma. I doubt they did, if I'm honest. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. It's like these folks want bad things to happen, huh? No! How many apples do these folks need anyhow? A lot. Yeah. Ah, shit. Sweet. That was a lot. That was good. Yeah. Got 142. How good is that? This better be S rank. Fuck you. This probably needs to be 150, honestly. That should give me like what? 30 or 40. I think it should put me up to 108. Oh, you didn't have to bring me so many, although I'm not complaining. I did my best, I suppose. And it shows, Elise. Here you go. Thank you, Mrs. Elma. Thank God I'm getting good scores. Motherfucker, we're hungry. Can Lebkuchen get me some food? Meet Lebkuchen at the bakery. Have dinner with Rosamarine. I don't want to. Fuck off, Rosamarine. On your way home, are you? Rest assured, Mr. Bernard, I'm about to leave. Afraid the last will be taken by the crows, Bernhard. That's not just, old lad. What about you two? Still worried about the crows? I wish they'd leave already, that's what. They're just resting here, I'd say. They didn't hurt anyone or try to steal anything else. It's not as though they necessarily had to, Mr. Bernard. It doesn't sit right with me is all. Speaking of which, I'm concerned about Eugen. He's been rather cheery for someone who's been robbed, don't you think? I'd say he seems fine to me. Folks like him, Elise. Oftentimes they're misleading you to think they're in good health. What makes you think that, Mr. Wilhelm? Eugen isn't one to share his thoughts, lass. The lad's the same as always, as though nothing happened. We must make certain he isn't left on his own for long stretches of time, lest he... Lest he what? I'm gonna check the well again, and I'm expecting it to crash. Long day today, was it, dearie? For you too, Mrs. Matilda? Not at all. I had a lovely nap just earlier. Can't remember the last time I took a nap. Let's call it the perks of old age, my dear. There aren't many, but I make the most of it. Rather cheery, Mrs. Matilda. Why, most of the crows are gone, Elise. That's a relief, I must say. Makes one wonder why, doesn't it? Sure does, Mrs. Matilda. Sure does. Well, kind of knew this was going to happen, didn't we? Why is this a thing? There's nothing as far as I can tell. Auto's turned on, it's not doing anything. I don't know. It's a really bad bug. It's really bad. If you're not supposed to interact with it, then don't do that. Does anyone want to try and check and see if there's a reason why, or if it's a known bug, or if it's something it's supposed to be doing? Probably just easily be like little Goody Two-Shoes. Like, stuck with Fountain.
Little Goody Two-Shoes.
Stuck on Fish Fountain. Thank you, Retro. I am worried that it's supposed to be something I'm supposed to be able to access, and it's just like, nah, screw it. You're not getting that. So I'm gonna go talk to her again, because I talked to her already. We'll just skip. We're gonna go see about Eugen. Shit. I hate that key is mapped to that. I really should have remapped that. Ointment, bandages. Food items, bread, mushroom. We need some better food items. We're gonna have to buy something for the bakery. Another one I see. Huh? Say, what is it you're meeting him for? I don't think that's any of your business. Let me tell you something, then. Forsake all you think you know about yourself. What do you mean? There's no amount of determination that can save you from him. Once you're in those woods, once you go through that door... What? You'll be left with nothing but harrowing regret. Why are you telling me all this? Ooh! I love how much they've wrecked with our sanity. Motherfucker. Where's the St. Walpurgis oil? I think we're fine at the moment. Rosemary's right. I had to find a way to get in here. I have to have dinner with Rosemary and I need to meet Lebkuchen at the bakery. Let's just do that. I'm definitely finding stuff by going around looking in town for things. Yeah. I've been told it was Freya's mother who decorated their home. I can see where Freya got her creativity from, I suppose. These are old requests from Mrs. Mariel. I suppose some of the townsfolk still gather here, even though she's moved across the street. Thing up there. There's still crows around. Why are you all still gossiping? Everything will be alright, I'm certain. Is everything alright? We're talking about Kieferberg, Elise. Guido can't make up his mind about leaving, which is a little... You want to leave, Mrs. Brunhilde? Well, I can't say for certain, but... It's a shame, isn't it? Folks used to want to move here, not the other way around. I've been discussing it with Flynn, too. He's rather hesitant. We all know where you land in this argument, don't we, Elise? I suppose you do, Mrs. Mariel. Oh, I'm so torn about it. I came here from Pribbledorf, after all. If I were to go back... Oh, enough, Brunhilde. I'm losing my mind. They are talking themselves into a tizzy, is what they are doing. Nobody mentioned the glitch. They just say there's a puzzle in the well for another key and apparently leads you to the caves or something. Someone did say they had to load a save or restart. Oh. What, to do that puzzle? Well, let me just try using the key again. If it keeps glitching, I'm just gonna be all like, no, screw this. I've always wondered what lies beyond those hills. Spotted with isolated homes and rows of crops, the broad valley's fields spread out into the distance. Doesn't seem to be working, huh? Maybe if I try something else. Doesn't seem like this is what I should be using here. Like, it's stupid obvious that's where I use it, but where does the keyhole for it? I don't know. I'm gonna skip it for now. Like, it's not recognizing me attempting to use the key on it at all. And that's driving me nuts. Also, what is the apple strudel for? Oh. Fragrant mountain breeze frolics about the rolling hills, spreading a spring cheer across all of Kieferberg. +4. Basking in its holy glory, the image of Saint Walpurga solemnly watches over Kieferberg Church. Oh, people say it's not usable until Thursday. Okay. I don't know why it's glitching out on me like that, then. I kind of figured, like, you have to wait until something was going on with the fountain. That was what I vaguely remember from beforehand. Like, I think I need to wait for something. Wait, Elise. There you are, lassie. Huh? We need to have a word with you, Elise. A word with me, you say? Your cousin's been going about town spreading nonsense, Elise. Such as? Why, saying the crows are nothing to fret about, for instance. She isn't afraid of any animals, on the contrary. See how that might be true, Elise, but still. We're to be wary of such things, not make little of them. I understand, Mrs. Ilma. But that's not all, lass. She's been asking about Apfel's fever, you see. I love how I keep getting my voices mixed up, even though I don't really have voices for them. Why, she's a warrior, Mr. Ludwig. Everyone's worried about Apfel. You would be, wouldn't you? Well, that's a fair point, Elise. I don't think there's any point in making too much of things, Mrs. Alma. This is dangerous. I ought to make certain I bring Rosemary to work with me, or I'll have to deal with this every day. Stupid bitch! You're just blessed by divinities, aren't you? I know, Elise. I haven't said anything yet, have I? You don't have to, Elise. What am I to do with you, Lub Kitchen? At least tell me you get a good night's sleep tonight. If nobody else breaks into a fever, I might. Here's your bread, Elise. She feeds us. What's on your mind, Lub Kitchen? Things that would upset you, Elise. I'm not certain you trust me at all. I trust you enough not to ask you about it. You keep coming back to this, Lub. If there's... I meant it, Elise. You don't have to tell me. Whatever it is you can't tell me, I won't pry. You trust me that much, huh? Even if you truly were the witch. Lub Kitchen! I mean it, Elise. I trust you'll tell me in time, whenever you're ready. You're truly tired. For someone who's always attentive to others, Lub Kitchen, you're not. I'll see you about town tomorrow. For goodness sakes! You're so stubborn. Buy some more. Ugh. Can I do for you today, dearie? I'm buying. It's the same as just buying bread. Anything else? Some pretzels, maybe? See you, Granny. So it costs 60 to have Lebkuchen, which is enough to refill your food for Rosemarine. And as long as you get 2 A's, that's 120, I think. Elise! Elise, come quick! What's the matter, Jakob? It's Apfel, he's gone missing. What? Oh, please come quick, Elise. Why Elise? Why? There literally was Leb on the way. What the hell? We must go and look for him. That's right, we can't sit about waiting forever.
No.
What's going on here? Apfel's gone missing, Elise. Hopefully the lads will find him on their patrol. They'll happen upon him, I'm certain. They don't know he's missing, Father. By the time they're back, my poor boy could have... Mama! We all need to remain calm. Calm, Father? My boy is missing. Lord knows if he's all right, let alone if the worst has happened. We all knew those crows were an omen.
Out with it.
Not this again, you old wretch. Ought to have taken the lad to the witch. What a horrible thing to say, old Yoken.
You old geezer.
You truly have no decency, you.
That's enough.
Cannot give in to hysteria, brethren. Oh, to think the lads went out in search of crows. Crows were a threat, lass. Oh, that's it. I'm going to look for him myself.
Anyway.
I'll go. Let me be the one to go, Mrs. Lisbeth. It's best we wait for the lads. I can't allow... Oh, will you really, Elise? Now there's a brave lass. Oh, but Father Hans is right. It's dangerous. Leave it to me, Mrs. Lisbeth. Oh, Elise. I do not condone your disobedience, Elise. I do. I need you to go, Elise, for Angelica's sake as well. Surely the poor lass can't be without a mother. We can lend a hand with whatever you need, Elise. Best make certain you have enough food and matches, dear. I'll be here, Elise. Let me know when you're leaving. You're on your bed and getting sleepy, you blame the memory foam mattress. Well, then either go to sleep or sit up and wake up. Save. I already saved. Oh, I'm certain he's alright, dearie. I can only hope you're right, Mrs. Mariel. You must keep a positive outlook, Mrs. Elizabeth. I thought you didn't condone my disobedience, Father. My duty is to care for my brethren's well-being, Elise. You ought to be aware it's dangerous. The lass couldn't bear the thought, Father. We can't leave Apfel roaming the woods all by himself. Lord knows how sick he was yesterday. If that fever were to strike him again in those woods, I'll make certain I find him, Mrs. Lisbeth. I appreciate it, Elise, but if you find it's too dangerous, Elise will find him, Elizabeth. We must trust the lass. Here you go, Elise. Please be careful. What do you give me? Wait a minute. You gave me basically aspirin. Thank you, Mrs. Lisbeth. We'll make certain to send the lads after you when they arrive. Don't wander off too far, you hear? Thank you, Elise. Is anyone else gonna give me shit? My, Elise, I wasn't expecting you to volunteer of all people. That was rather brave of you, Elise. I couldn't sit still and do nothing. My, how fearless. Truly, with all this talk about the witch and whatnot. If only the lads were in town. Who knows? They might find him out and about. They don't even know how to look for Apfel, Elise. It could happen nonetheless, Wilma. If you have everything you need, Elise. I believe I do, Mrs. Elma. Why don't you take this? It's worth talking to everyone. It's not much, I know. Thank you, Mrs. Elma. Well, don't expect any charity from me, lassie. Careful, Elise. Let me go with you, Elise. You're not going anywhere, Jakob. I'm a man, too. Apfel needs us, Granny. Elise doesn't need you getting in her way, Jakob. Your mother's right, Jakob. I wouldn't get in the way. I wouldn't. I can't look after you and myself at the same time. Do you understand? Oh, but I wouldn't. You must trust Elise, Jakob. I know you're hurting, Jakob, but she's right. Mama. I'll do my best to find him, Jakob. I promise. All right, Elise. Oh, Elise, maybe it's best one of us goes with you. I'll be fine, Mrs. Matilda. You can always change your mind, Elise. Lebkuchen's right, Elise. Who's to go if I don't, Freya? Well, it's a good thing that you volunteered, Elise. You're a capable lass. I'm certain you'll find him. Thank you, Mrs. Ariane. I'm wondering how we didn't notice. It's no use blaming ourselves now, Mrs. Matilda. The children told Mrs. Dorothea they lost sight of Apfel, sometime before nightfall, it seems. Apfel was feeling all right. It may be that... What, Freya? Perhaps he felt ill and didn't want anyone to fret? Oh, don't say such a thing. Apfel couldn't have wandered too far. Anyhow, it'll be fine. You best make certain you don't either, Elise. Fretting over me, are you? Yes, I most certainly am. Leb Kuchen. These woods are dangerous regardless, Elise. I promise I'll watch my step, Leb. Apfel got lost somewhere. I'm certain that's all there is to it. May the Lord be with you, Elise. You know, what else would be great if you were with me? I like how we're no longer interested in, like, making sure that Rosemarine's fine at home. Did all the men just go off looking for the crows? Looking for crows. They're literally fucking everywhere. What do you mean you guys are all like, oh, we're gonna go look for crows? Dumb shits. This silly old thing. To think Leb Kuchen and I used to spend entire afternoons taking turns on the swing. Secured by slightly frayed rope and covered with pine needles, the swing's wooden plank sways gently in the breeze. Red. There's a save point here. We're gonna go and back to the house real quick. I know it wants us to go to the woods because that's what the story says, but we're gonna attempt every side path first. Can't be wondering about it. Must find Apfel. If we can. Nope. Alright. I mean, back at the town, there's all the other side things, including the windmill and everything we could have done, and we didn't, really. Oh, this is because their sanity's about halfway. That's why it's like this. Did I just lose one bread for going in here? Fuck, it's the same as before. Here I am again. Gotta find Apfel and fast. You think at any time it enters her head that, hey, this probably isn't normal. I can't run with her. Please don't be that big thing again. Oh. That crow's trying to tell me something, I suppose. What if I go this way? No choice but to go the other way, I suppose. Oh yeah, it won't let you this way. Nah, cause she ain't normal. It's fine.
What?
This isn't where I was yesterday. Is it? Apfel? Apfel, can you hear me? The walls look like they hurt if you touch them. I have to find him. Goodness knows that what could have happened to him by now. There's something shiny over there, but you have to grab it quick because it's on crappy ruined ground. One mosaic slab. What's this thing? A tile? Ignorance is bliss. Has nobody ever told you that? Plenty of times, I suppose. To be unable to grasp how fortunate we are until it's too late. Charmingly tragic, isn't it? I don't see what's so charming about it. You'll come face to face with it, too. The ruinous grief of your biggest, heaviest regret. What's yours, then? Same as yours. We all share the same penitence. Talking to girls like this is never a very pleasant experience, is it? Acquired a pearl rosary. Pearl rosary, what do you use that for? Expensive looking rosary bearing a heavy silver cross and big shiny pearls. Fetches a moderate price. Shit. Move, move, move. What's this thing? A tile? Forgot about the stupid things. Two acorns. Shit. Fucking hell. Ugh, I hate accidentally hitting that key. We'll have to get more of that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that are needed. Oh god. Okay, so the ground won't crack and break for the look of it. I moved up just a little bit to see what would happen, and sure enough, it does hurt you. This wall, it's a mosaic. It's missing pieces, isn't it? Missing pieces, missing pieces. That's what I said, thank you very much. Another one. Another one. How many of these are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So I need one more. Acorns. I think those heal. Five matches. Now I'm back to 20 after having fucked over and ruined a whole bunch of them on accident. Fucker. So angry that I keep on fucking over the matches. I don't quite have time to wonder about this, do I? I should move along and find Apfel. She's witless, she's witless! Why are you little? It's not 4, there's only 3, and then you have to organize them. Ugh! It's one of these games. I suck at these. There. This is my house. No, it can't be. I'm imagining things. I don't have time for this nonsense. I had to find Apfel. Surely don't have time to bother with this thing. Apfel could be in danger. I don't want to do that puzzle again. The shoes.
What in the Lord's name?
Her house. I wonder what would have happened up here if I hadn't solved the puzzle first. That's my house. Must be losing my mind. Grape juice! Because we're gonna go insane! More acorns! Oh, this looks okay.
What in the Lord's name?
What is this? My house. My progeny. Elise. Who's there? Come closer, Elise. Delve deeper. Into my grove. What in the Lord's name? Your fate, Elise. Your genesis is in the tapestry. Now fuck off. Such a foul smell. Thick crimson blood overflows from the cauldron's shattered rim, coating everything in its viscous sheen. This isn't Granny's spindle. Nothing that's in here is real. It can't be. Completely destroyed, the old spindle leans dramatically supported by its last remaining wooden leg. The whole upper floor is missing. Now leading nowhere, the staircase's wrinkly and damaged steps are suspended as though floating in midair. That woman, she wished for a child of her own. At his doorstep she kneeled and she prayed, not to me, but to him. My grove became the vessel, my soil the babe's mortal body. In my very womb they celebrated their agreement. From him came what I lack, what I failed to lay my hands upon. A human soul to be nurtured in my womb, and later given to her as her daughter. When in truth, it's me your body belongs to, Elise.
What is this?
What in the Lord's name? There's something under the tapestry. It's Rose and Marine. Is it the last goat? Stowe. Its insides have been my womb, used for that woman's wish. I was used. Used? What the Lord's name is going on here? What are these voices trying to tell me? Wearing my brooch still. Huh? What is one to do when the Lord fails them, would you say? Wait, what are you? Our union was favored by the Lord himself, and yet my inability to bear a child drove a wedge between us. Who are you? So I did what I could. I resorted to his blessing instead. I brought him my beloved in exchange for a baby. Wait, you can't be. All I can say to you, Elise, who's following in my steps, is that this is what my soulmate would have wanted me to do. For my sake, for our union's sake, and for yours as well. So has this not been a different golden girl each time? It's been the same one over and over, and this is actually her mother? Or the woman who technically created her? At last, it's as if she knew me. I don't know what's going on here, but I can't stay here any longer. I had to find and save Apfel. Whatever was at the center is gone, I suppose. Several candles stand in a circle surrounding an old blood-stained piece of cloth. feel like I'm supposed to do something here. Or I can do something here. Room? Tinderbox. Doesn't seem like this is what I should be using here. Tiger. Putters. He hears the birds and he's going nutsoid. Oh shit, there's something in the tree. Apfel.
What in the Lord's name?
Apfel? Hold tight, I'll get you out of there.
That was tiring.
Let's get you out of there and go home. Something's wrong. The woodland, this grove, it's aching. The kitchen? Your flesh, your blood, your love. All that's rightfully mine, my progeny. This thing's not Lepkishin. I can give you all that you desire. What? My beloved daughter. What are you? This lass, Lepkuchin. Is she the one your heart desires? What are you? They're coming. We'll meet again. Golden Crow. Vile stench, a vile stench, tainting our grove, tainting our grove. It's you! The lad's staying where he is, lassie. The lad's staying, the lad's staying.
Hurry it up!
Apfel, come now. Please. Quickly, Apfel, we have to leave this place. That creature's brought him right into our beaks, lass. We're not about to waste a hearty meal. A hearty meal, a hearty meal. My eye. Come, Apfel. We'll curse you, we'll curse you. Dare not defy me, leave the lad. We'll devour him, we'll devour him.
Alright.
Apfel, run. I can't move, Elise.
What in the Lord's name?
He's mimicking my movements. My legs, they're moving on their own. We have to leave this place, Apfel. Elise, I'm scared.
Anyway.
Come, Apfel, we have to move. We have to walk on what? The... You can see them wobbling. I love the fact that I'm just killing this kid over and over. Ow. Oh, shit. We're gonna have to go up and... Okay. Elise, my eye. Where are we going? Watch your step out, Phil. We'll find a way. We're gonna have to run. Shit. We have to move. Shit. Come on out, Phil. Shit. Stay there, boy. Fucking hell. I know I need to buy another Hardy suit. God damn it, I screwed up with him. Get him! This isn't the time to wander. I best hurry. Where's Apfel, though? Oh, God. Please, I can't see where I'm going.
Wait!
Don't wander around too much, Apfel. Try not to follow my voice. Elise, where are you? It's all right, Apfel. Walk in a straight line. I'll be watching over you. Feel dizzy, Elise. Trust me, Apfel. I'm right here. I must run to make sure I don't lose sight of him. Oh, because he's gonna fall into holes otherwise. Did I kill the kid by pressing on something? I heard him scream. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to... Shit. Okay, stay in there. Shit, that fell. Ah, fuck. God damn it. I did it again. But here. Bandage only one? Are you fucking kidding me? Wait a minute, here, two. There. Okay, here. This is there. Okay, I was wondering why the hell I couldn't do this before. It's because I went too far down. Kids who I don't wander around too much, try to follow my voice. Oh, here. So there's two buttons. I pressed the bottom one last time. So just go this way. I don't know what I'm trying to do because I can't see up fell at all. Ow! Dumb kid. Ow. He falls into a hole on his own. That's what my problem was. I didn't move fast enough last time. God damn it. Fucking hell. I hate the trees. I hate the trees. Alright. Like, you can tell the trees, but you have to sit there and you have to wait for them to shake. Dumbass child. Ow, because I went too close to that one. Oh my god, watching him just... Okay. Then you can speed that part up. So, you need to stay near the trunks of the trees. Stupid child. You dumb idiot! I wish I could just put something here and just leave it. keep moving. Ah, the other side. Other side. I screwed up. You alright, Apfel? Please, I feel dizzy. Wait for me, I'm coming for you. Is there a save point? Let's not wander about too far. Please. I'm with you now, Ethel. It'll be alright. Let's go now. Back to Kieferberg. You're gonna have to run. Okay, they run on their own. Thank God. Can he fall into a hole? Oh, he fell multiple times. See a bat fell from the Crowwoods. Broken shackles. I wonder if it's possible to not save him for some reason. Mama. Oh, thank heavens you're alright. Mama, Apfel. I was so scared, Mama. You're alright now, my boy. Oh, Apfel, I thought I'd never see you again. It's alright, my loves. We're together now. What a relief. Good Lord, Elise, you really did find him. Wasn't easy, that's for certain.
Atta girl.
Atta girl, Elise. Books told us all about it. We were about to set off after you. This is a moment to celebrate, folks. Prepare us a feast, Wilma. We're drinking to Elise tonight. The rest of you are too young. Oh, how wonderful. I'll get right to it. Can't compromise the festival, Wilma. There's nothing better to celebrate than this, Father. The lad's right, Father. We ought to celebrate. To the inn, folks! To the inn! What a bear. Whoa. Elise!
For goodness sake.
What are you doing here, Rosemarine? You weren't coming back, so I came back for you. I saw you coming back with Apfel. He got lost in the woods. I went to look for him, is all. Oh, but is he alright?
You know,
Say, Rosemarine, you've been home this whole time. Haven't you?
of course.
Ah, yes. I made supper and everything. You were taking so long, I thought. Come, Elise, we ought to celebrate. I'll be right there, Mr. Heinrich. You head on home, Rosemarine.
Yes.
Oh, alright. I won't take too long, alright? I'll be home waiting for you, Elise. Can we, like, put duct tape on Rosemarine's mouth? Just wrap it around her head. Cover her mouth. You know, keep her from saying anything. It would be ale as beer came later. We don't know what year this is. I mean, this could be beer time period. Ale was without the hops, right? I want to say it was without hops. Beer was with hops. Basically, yes, yeah. I mean, I'd rather have ale. I've had, like, pear ale and stuff, and I prefer ale. It's sweeter. I like beer, too, but... like, I like sweet drinks far more than others. Ah, there she is. Oh, Elise, how can I ever repay you? That's all right, Miss Elizabeth. There's no need to. Nonsense, Elise. You saved him, after all. Give me her life savings. How's Apfel? Him and Angelica are inside having their supper. I'm too fatigued to join you at the inn, but that's all right, Mrs. Lisbeth. I won't be... whatever. What did we say? I won't be staying long either. Oh, if only my goats weren't so ill. You mean goat? I have nothing to give you as a thank you, Elise. Don't fret over such things, Lisbeth. No, fret! Please fret! Come, I'll keep you company. We'll all pitch in to thank Elise tomorrow. There's truly no need. I did what I felt I should. Would you mind telling me more about how you found him tomorrow, Elise? Of course, Mrs. Elizabeth. You too, Elise. See that you get plenty of rest tonight. Beer makes you nauseous? Well, that sucks. Neatly potted in vases of all sizes, the many bristling flowers bloom in colorful clusters. I can currently ask Eugen about the key. Oh, ale has hops mostly? So what's the difference between beer and ale? Beer's also the only alcohol that gave you a hangover the next day, but most from it making you sick. Ugh. I don't think anyone's up here, but I am checking. Has that always been there? A workbench that's outside, typically used by Kieferberg. I don't think this has always been here. Originally, ale was from herbs and spices. Beer is basically bread. Well, yeah, because of the barley. Or whatever grains they end up using. Yeah. I remember seeing a sneak or two hiding in this hay not long ago. Stacked with hay and firewood, Kieferberg's stables house much of the town's livestock. Where's the sound of the water coming from?
Atta girl.
Atta girl, Elise. Kieferberg owes you a great debt, lass. Lord knows what could have happened had it not been for you. I was lucky as all. No, Elise, I owe you an apology. What matters is that Apfel is safe and sound, Father. Heinrich's right, we have good reason to celebrate. Bottoms up, everyone! To Elise, our bravest lass. To Elise. To Elise! Oh, you don't have to. Nonsense, lass. This is better than the festival, even. A great deal better, indeed. It's our chance to unwind, folks. Why don't you grab some ale and go grab Freya for a dance, Elise? How old is Elise? Ah, yes! We're drinking all night long, lads. To Elise! Here you are, Elise, the girl of the hour. You all right, Mr. Eugen? Not you two, Elise. A man has to make the most of what he's got left. Don't tell me ale is all you've got, Mr. Eugen. Why don't you take this, Elise? Key! I won't be needing that where I'm going, that's for certain. Mr. Eugen, you be careful, Elise. These folks aren't to be trusted. Blaming the witch for what happened to my horses. They're all in on it, that's what. Can't very well tell them it really was the witch, can I? Kieferberg this, Kieferberg that. You're the only one in town who's not enamored with this rat hole of a town, Elise. I suppose. Get away while you can, lest this place ruins you like it ruined me. He's a little upset. Oh, it must have been so frightening, Elise. I'd say it was more frightening for Apfel. It's one thing after another with him, isn't it? How is he, Elise? He seemed a little dazed, if I'm honest. No wonder the poor lad was lost in the woods for hours. I'll stop by Miss Elizabeth's first thing in the morning. She must be exhausted. Can't let Apfel speak of what we saw in the woods. That thing wasn't Lebkuchen. Just the same as on Tuesday, that wasn't Rosemary. Is everything alright, Elise? All I do is make you worry, huh? Nothing out of the ordinary, was it? Lebkuchen had her hands full comforting folks, Elise. You were so frightened for her too, Lebkuchen. I was truly. I thought of you while I was in there, is all. I'd wager you're as exhausted as Apfel, Elise. I won't stay for long, Mrs. Ariane. Ah, we ought to celebrate while we can, then. Why don't we all have some ale? I wonder what would happen if you were focusing on Rosemarine. Because then it would have been Rosemarine coming behind the tree, I would expect. And at that point, it's like, what would have happened? Now to get in there and get this over with. While everyone's busy having fun and no one's paying attention. Except for probably Mippy. Mibley's probably somewhere. You've come, you've come. The gift, lass, the tender flesh.
With it.
I've come here to do just that, you wretch. Show it to me, show it to me. Your ardor, your longing for that wish of yours.
This is ridiculous.
I've already been to your grove, I've cleared your trial. What else is it you want from me? Your commitment, your commitment. Show it to me, lassie, your commitment. What? Chop or kick? Do I get to chop the chickens this time? Oh. Oh. Ow. What am I hitting? Oh. I don't know what I'm crushing. Oh, it's the wheat. It did not... Fuck. This is why I saved. This is why that save is here. Yeah, I didn't know what it was at first. I was like staring at it going, what the fuck? Ugh, you can't make it go faster. Oh, that's horrible. The most I could do is turn auto on.
With it.
Well, auto's not as fast as just
This is
smacking the buttons.
ridiculous.
Who's the girl on the side supposed to be? Because that's not her. Also, I noticed the timer at the top is really wonky. Shit. Oh, we're trying to make the fire hotter. Get rid of the body parts and take whatever else is it. shit. I only have... Prevail against the crow, the tender flesh. Achievement unlocked. The tender flesh. Please don't tell me I actually took damage doing that. That crow, it's gone. It's got my hair in it. It'll do, I suppose. It's best to get out of here. The sooner the better. When did I... It's a dream again, but I was in town just now. That castle again. You again. Didn't you hear me? We'll be late for his banquet if you don't hurry.
Wait!
Banquet? What are you? There's the one golden girl with the shoes, too, was in there. It's Thursday! That was nice. Are we all high? Yes. Huh? It's morning already. I don't feel like I got any sleep at all. It's best I go find Rosemarine. Collect the fireflies, 12. So the fireflies are representative of the Golden Girls. Not the show. You know what I mean. Fuck. Boo. It's still a unicorn. It changes on occasion, I've noticed. Did it always look like this? No, because we've seen a woman in the middle. It's been a long time since I've gone into Granny Holly's room. Not that there's anything to see there anyhow. So much for St. Walpurga's protection. I'd have thrown you out a long time ago, lassie. Begging you, Flock. What's going on out there? Oh, please stay put, Flock.
For goodness sake.
What's gotten into him? Elise. He's throwing a temper tantrum is all. I didn't know goats could do such a thing. I had my hands full with breakfast. I couldn't give him much attention. It's what you get for spoiling him so much, that's what. I know, but I can't resist his sweet little hops.
For goodness sake.
You're truly... You feeling better today, Elise? You still haven't told me about what happened. Can't tell her the full extent of it, can I? Not about what I saw in the woods or about her.
I'm sorry.
Are you listening, Elise? Huh? Oh, because this is the game's way of doing the whole it doesn't matter which girl it was that would have ended up appearing there. Rosemarine could have been one. You can't talk to her about it, so let's put this as the basic statement and say about her. I don't know why they wouldn't have just had a trigger, that it would have picked the name of whichever one it was, but meh. You were telling me about the woods? Apfel got lost in the woods, that's all. I went in there to rescue him, I suppose. You're not telling me the whole truth, are you? Someone in those woods, Rosemarine. I don't know who they are or what they want from me, but I felt their presence there since Monday. Someone in the woodland, you say? I'm certain they hurt Apfel or lured him in, even. You seen that old hag again, Elise? The one who told you about him and the testaments? I haven't seen that old hag since then, but that Rosemarine I met in the woods. I don't know what to make any of this, do I?
Sorry.
Elise. Come, Rosemarine, we should move along. Oh, it's best you go ahead without me, Elise. I think I best find Flock. I'll be right there with you. You fucking can't keep track of your own goat. Elise is already a trigger. Everything is problematic with this girl. This seems too obvious. Because the thing is, I have a feeling there's going to be 3 diary entries, and I have a feeling you could actually put each of the diary entries in here. And I think that the ending might be influenced by what you choose in the baskets. But getting the items in the basket, getting the items that you need for the basket is probably the more difficult part, I guess. I love how we've had this back here, and we've done, like, nothing with it. Wait, what was that? A small wooden trunk filled with various knickknacks. It's no use going to the pantry, is it? There's nothing to eat in this house. I thought she made dinner. What did she make for dinner when she made dinner? Still can't bring myself to give this thing away, can I? An old spinning wheel rests in the corner, covered in a thick layer of dust and glistening cobwebs. Bread, lol. She's all like, I made dinner, hands out loaves of bread. You're all like, did you bake that? Did you? This gift does suit you rather well, lass. A golden snake, so this is the second one. Those shoes, they'll guide you to him. Who are you? You know who I am, Elise. You're with him, just like that crow. Quite smart, aren't you? This is another of his trials, I take it. Why, yes, you're truly so delightful, lass. Fortune, that's what you're after, is it? You've come to taunt me, I'm assuming. I've come to welcome you into my very own garden, Elise. You alone, lass, I won't let that wretched thing into my grove, unlike Free, that fool. The testament you seek rests deep within my depths, Elise. That's disgusting. Am I to meet you there, then? My, how willful you are. You're trying my patience, that's what. We both know what I'm after, Serpent, so get it over with and... You're now the bearer of my hex, lassie, fated to meet me in my realm. Show me your resolve, your burning desire for more. Be good, behave, Elise, and I'll welcome you with open arms. You sickening wretch. I'll be awaiting you by the gates of my bedewed forest of berries, Elise. Bedewed berries of forest. Bedewed. To hell with you. Ugh, this stings. It's best I don't alarm Rosemarine. I have to prepare myself for tonight. I must see this through. Meet Leb Kuchen at her house later on tonight. Ornate toy horse. Might fetch a moderate price. I have two things that would fetch a decent price. Look at the flowers. I want to live there. So close to reaching his blessing. If what that crow and serpent said is true, then I have no choice but to keep going forward, for my own sake. Shining in the distance, the monumental castle stands ephemeral and out of reach. I love the fact that she's all like, I need to do this, dark gifts and everything else, I want money. I love Elise, she's such a selfish bitch. God. I mean, it also could be a matter of how many times do you see the Golden Girl, too. Could end up helping with the endings. I don't know. There definitely seems to be a few different triggers. Now it's that wretched Serpent's Grove. I'm getting closer and closer to meeting him, aren't I? I feel like it took forever to get to the Serpent point, though. Because we've gone all the way through the week, all the way up until Thursday before, like, we get to deal with the Serpent. Can I get over there? Can I get over there? Into that field? Giant-ass bright light on whatever that is? No. Kitty! Well, by your lonesome today, Elise? My cousin's taking a little longer to get ready today is all. Oh, I'm so glad you're getting along, dearie. You can use the company. Why doesn't she stay here in Kieferberg? I'm not too certain about that, Granny Gretel. Say, Elise, there's a favor I'd like to ask you. Won't you keep an eye on Leb Kuchen for me today? Is she sick, or she wasn't feeling her best this morning, yet insisted on going to church? That Leb Kuchen. You go give her a proper earful for me, will you? Oh, that's her Leb. This is okay. So this is Leb's house. Look at the little old granny. What can I do for you today, dearie? I'm buying. Holy fuck, apple strudel gives you a lot. Selling. Is what honestly what I end up needing. Anything else? Ought to keep yourself well fed, you hear? Gran got a stash, she does. Should I be bothering to buy the hearty soup for Mibble? I wouldn't want to be a burden, Freya. Not at all, Mrs. Elizabeth. It would be my pleasure. Oh, good morning, Elise. Is everything all right? Oh, I was inviting Mrs. Elizabeth and the children for dinner. I don't think we're ready for that yet, my dear. Well, the invitation stands, Mrs. Elizabeth. You're welcome anytime you'd like. How's Apfel, Mrs. Elizabeth? Oh, Elise. I have so many questions. He hasn't slept. He keeps mentioning the witch. Witch? What happened in the woods, Elise? I didn't see anything resembling a witch, that's for certain. Apfel's still frightened, Mrs. Elizabeth. My apologies, Elise. It wasn't my intention to insinuate. That's all right, Mrs. Elizabeth. I know you meant no harm. Oh, I hope nothing else happens today. All you people in town just gossiping. Checking the well. Checking the fountain. Nothing's happened to it. Whoever's in charge of it is doing a shitty job. Who was it? Freya's supposed to be decorating it? Oh, there's no water in it this time. I think that was the thing. Washing well's empty. That note and that key. Whoever's been doing these rituals may have tampered with this faucet.
I've done it!
It fit. What in the Lord's name is going on in Kieferberg? Another one of these caves. I'm starting to feel queasy again. I had to pull myself together and get this over with. Thought that was 2, 3. Oh. I did it wrong. Do it again. 1. Okay. And then straight across, then up. Okay. So it was this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. They're all lit now, but there's still something missing, I think. Fire entry number 4. I'm missing number 3. This was ripped out of some journal. Most of this was jotted down in a hurry, but... Walpurga the Witch. I've uncovered her roots at last. Everything points back to Kieferberg, the birthplace of the witch, Walpurga, and her cult. This can't be. If there truly is a witch in Kieferberg, then, adored and celebrated for centuries, the woodland surrounding this town was said to have a consciousness of its own. This consciousness, what we now call a witch, was named Walpurga. Folks' faith in its miracles dates from many years before the glory of the church reached these peaks, said to grant its believers good health, sustenance, and protection. The woodland, or Walpurga, harbored folks' wills, wishes, desires, and sins. In such a way, in fact, that it would appear to folks under the guise of a woman. Whisper to the faithful, take the form of their loved ones, of an old hag, of a doe, amongst others. The 6-ringed maypole, the symbol of St. Walpurga, Walpurga's benevolence we adore today, was first adored as a symbol of the witch's miracles and mercy. That is no more, however. St. Walpurga is a patroness of the church, a benevolent figure in our faith. With the arrival of the Lord's messengers to these peaks, the cult of Walpurga was eradicated. It is fact, however, that the few who lived have become nomads of sorts. What is most puzzling to me is that my research on all of this history does not quite align with old Holly's confession. Walpurga, the witch, never once was said to ask anything in return for its blessings. Neither was it ever referred to as a god or a male deity, rather a woman. How could a he have granted old Holly a wish? This witch, how could a pagan deity do what the Lord himself won't? I am fairly certain there's more to old Holly's sins than meets the eye. Granny Holly's sins, he says. None of this is true. Father Hans is losing his wits. Granny Holly would never... She would never hide anything from me. Can I use the diary entries on... Path ends here, but it looks to me like it caved in. I wonder if this is used to connect somewhere. If this used to connect somewhere. Something in there, but I can't reach it. It's glowing really brightly, too. Use the broom? Doesn't seem like this is what I should be using here. Maybe if I try something else. It feels like it should be the broom. Can't reach it. It's glowing really bright, too. Something in there, but I can't reach it. It's glowing really bright, too. Wonder if there's something I could place here. My brooch, it worked. Speaking of which, the ribbon the other day was rather similar to mine too. First my ribbon, now my brooch. I don't like this, not one bit. Another key, I wonder what this one's for. An old key bearing the letter W on its tip. W. How do I get that? It's not giving me the option to grab that anymore. Key. We try every lock in Kieferberg and still not find out what it's for. Maybe it's best I give this some thought. Jeez. Her sanity is shit right now. That wasn't done right. I think there's a way to get that thing out from that hole. Save point is not there anymore. Let's just keep going. I'm gonna go nuts if I'm trying to figure out how I was supposed to get the sparkly thing out of the deep hole. The deep hole. Oh, I feel I'm losing my mind, lad. You gotta stay strong, Mrs. Mario. What happened, Mr. Guido? Haven't you heard, Elise? The windmill was ransacked even though the door was locked shut all night. Huh? I don't want to think about it, if I'm honest. Could have been one of us folks, too. Or even the witch. Oh, don't say that, Guido. Folks are losing their minds. I could only hope they don't turn on me. Alicia, are you listening? What? So tired from yesterday. It's best we don't chew it over too much, I'd say. Keeping our mouths shut won't make it go away, Brunhilde. Yeah, to lend Lebkuchen a hand, lass? What are you talking about, Mr. Wilhelm? Haven't you heard? Folks are gathering like bees inside the church. Because of the windmill and the grain? Precisely. Folks are going crazy. Some say it was the witch, others say it was the devil himself. Wait, Mr. Wilhelm. What does any of this have to do with Lebkuchen? Ah, it's best you go see for yourself, lass. Oh, I'm glad I had a word with Lebkuchen this morning. You folks are completely losing your minds. They certainly are, Mrs. Matilda. At least this is to be taken seriously. My, I wouldn't want to blame poor Eugen, but you'd best not say it, Matilda. This is a matter to be handled by Father Hans. Whatever it is, I don't think it's anything to fret about. How could you say such a thing, lass? Let's try to keep our composure, ladies. Mrs. Odilla is right. We best wait for Father Hans's judgment. This is what tiny towns do. They're like, oh my goodness! Dark forces are afoot. Let's all gather in the town square and gossip. Yes, 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 gossip. We've got to clear out the blockage, folks. It's the only way. You say so, lad.
You know,
What's wrong with the fountain? It's one thing after another, isn't it, Elise? We think the fountain's obstructed it is all. This is all her doing. The witch! She's taken our grain, our children, and now she's after our water. We've discussed this, old lad. Flynn and I can give it a look, can't we, Flynn? To the best of our ability, but... Old Wilhelm ought to know what's wrong with it. We're to gather here at noon, folks. I want to have a word with all of Kieferberg. You'll need me to lend a hand, Father. Naturally, Gustav. What are we to do about the grain, folks? Grain? You haven't heard, lass? No, I'm not yet to fully understand what's going on. Someone was in the windmill last night, Elise. Could have been the wind, or the crows still. The door was still locked this morning, lad. It was Eugen's responsibility, but... It was the witch, I tell you. Give it a rest, old Jochen. I was told you left home early last night, Elise. She was certainly tired, old Jochen. Don't be unreasonable. Couldn't have been one of us folks. What about the weevils? It's totally Elise. Weevils, Mr. Ludwig. The flour and grain we had stored away are riddled with beetles, Elise. I'm not certain what we're going to do with this grain now. All we can do to avoid throwing it out, Ludwig. We'll become completely reliant on Primbledorf at this rate. That witch has us at her mercy. She has all of Kieferberg in the palm of her hand, and that's enough, folks. I've heard enough. Finn and Heinrich will take a look at the fountain later. As for the rest of us, we ought to air out the grain and do away with those beetles, starting right now. This is the only rattling up folks even more. I best go see if Lebkuchen's alright. Folks must be swarming her. these little commercial break type title screens I love. You're gonna have to have a romantic date, Leb. Don't worry, I'm gonna sell your soul. How much money do I have? 78. How much energy? I'm full. I'm full on everything. Thank God. Yeah. How can I help you, darling? I'm buying. Give me a hearty soup. Also... St. Walpurga's oil. Oh, I can't buy it. Shit. Are you sure that's all, sweetheart? Goodbye, Miss Wilma. Be looking forward to seeing you, Elise. I spent too much time in that one down below. Because look at her sanity. It's fucked up. There. She just drank a whole bunch of grape juice and now she's a lot more sane than she was. Why it works that way? Dunno. Let's see. I think we just need to go and see Lebkuchen. Lebkuchen? Everyone's gathered around her. Please try to keep calm, Mrs. Linda. Oh, I know. Won't you have a look at my rosary, Lebkuchen? I seem to have pulled on it a little too tightly this morning. That's no good, Ariane. No good at all. Tighten it for you, Mrs. Ariane, but first I ought to... I can help, Lebkuchen.
Elise.
Oh, Elise. What are you saying, lassie? A maid of all work can't possibly pray our blessings. We need Lebkuchen. Where's Father Hans when we need him most? Father Hans has his own matters to attend to. I can... It's best you visit each and every one of our homes, Lebkuchen.
I wonder.
That's... My end too. I'll need a prayer in each and every room before sunset. But before that, Lebkuchen, could you...
Out with it!
Will you folks back off a little? My, Elise, can't you see where... She's like, oh, it's too much prayer. I can't do this. Lebkuchen! Oh, who's gonna pray our blessings now? We must fetch Father Hans. Someone get her some water. Can you hear me? God damn it, these people. Be taking her home, Elise. She'll be fine. Alright, Mrs. Dorothea. Why don't you pay her a visit in a little while? Is she still gonna give me bread every night? Of course, I'll be there. Gotta go see her. She didn't deserve any of this. I won't stand for it, old lads, nor will anyone else in Kieferberg. Why, we ought to start with her, that's what. You're not touching any of our folks either, I'll have you know. What's going on here? I'm not certain this is the best time, lass. Old Joken's insisting we search folks for the witch's hexes, Elise. You fool! You're giving our time to conceal the... Please, keep calm, old Joken. What Kieferberg needs is in calm, Hans, it's leadership. We ought to take matters into our own hands and search everyone. I don't think Mr. Gustav would allow Freya to be searched for things either. I won't allow anyone in town to be searched last, not even you, old Joken. Keep that in mind. Search me all you want. It's a matter of old respect, old Joken. I would have thought you'd understand. This isn't the time for respect, Hans. I won't allow it. That's all I have to say on the matter. You fools, you'll regret this. Tee-hee, none of you suspect me. I'm gonna sacrifice Leb. Oh my god, nothing different. So St. Walpurga's starting to look a little bit more shady the more we're like diving into this. I also want to know where Diary Entry 3 was supposed to have been. And it also seems that Grandma Old Holly was very much in on all the supernatural shit going on in this area. Meet Leb at her house for a romantic event. Oh, that's gonna take away my daytime time period. Oh. Elise, thought you'd all be in class. Mrs. Dorothea's insisting Apfel should rest for the day. Oh, Elise, did Apfel truly see the... No. What are you talking about, Mrs. Linda? Apfel says he saw the witch. Jakob, what did I tell you? Sorry, Mama. I saw no such thing, Mrs. Linda. Poor lad's still frightened, I'm certain. That said, I wouldn't want my Jakob to believe such notions. Of course, Mrs. Linda. But Elise, Apfel said you saw her too. Enough of that nonsense, Jakob. But Mama... We're gonna have to kill Apfel. we're gonna... Hi, Regan. We're gonna have to put Apfel down to keep him silent. That's all there is to it. Filled to the brim with apples, the barrel stands unyielding despite the visible gaps between its planks. Oh, to think I've been relying on her so heavily these days. On your way to pay Lebkuchen a visit, Elise. I have to, Mrs. Mariel. The poor lass must be so overwhelmed. All of Kieferberg goes to her for reassurance, after all. Ah, Elise. Lisbeth here was meaning to ask you. Oh, Mrs. Mariel, I wouldn't want to. Ask me what, Mrs. Lisbeth? You see, Apfel's been telling me about what he saw in the woods. Apfel was rather frightened when I found him, so I suppose... Oh, Elise, I truly wouldn't want to imply, but no, I understand, Miss Elizabeth. I told you, Lisbeth, he's been hearing old Yokin spreading this nonsense about town all week. It's only natural he'd be frightened of the witch. Even I was frightened in the woods, to be honest. Oh, Elise, I can't thank you enough. Suspicion is down. What is my suspicion level? I have no suspicion level. I can start being a bitch again. Put up, vote down like Old Yeller. You just had the scare of your lifetime. Oh, there you are, Elise. How is she, Mrs. Dorothea? She is tired, is all. Mrs. Gretel and I tucked her into the bed just now. I suppose it's best I let her rest, but... I'd say so too, Elise. At least we know what caused Lebkuchen's fainting. What do you mean, Mrs. Dorothea? Why, we don't know what caused Apfel's fever. Or why those crows were about town yesterday, or what truly happened in the windmill, or why the fountain's not working. I suppose. Oh, Elise, it's too much. You didn't mention the horses! There she is. Where? I'll spend some time with her.
Lebkuchen.
Don't you start, Elise.
For goodness sake.
What were you thinking? You couldn't! Doesn't matter, Elise. I'll be out and about after lunch anyhow. Granny Gretel's preparing it for me, so you can...
For goodness sake.
I'm not going anywhere, Lebkuchen, and neither are you. Not until I've given you a proper earful.
I see.
I'm jumping for joy. You're impossible to put up with, even when you get like this.
Please.
How would you like me to be feeling?
This is ridiculous.
You're being taken for granted like you always are. Tell me something I don't know. That includes you, Lebkuchen. I'm sorry, Leb. I didn't come here to yell at you, but I still don't understand. Why do you break your back for these folks? Lesbian love, lesbian love, lesbian love. Thank you. It's my duty, Elise.
For goodness sake.
You're well aware I don't appreciate being lied to, Lebkuchen.
I see.
Neither do I. That's what you've been doing all week.
I'm tired.
I don't know how to let go, Elise. That's all. Let go. Go into the light. Let go of what? Of who I am here in Kieferberg. Of this duty and purpose. I'm well aware I'm being taken for granted. And I take myself for granted, too. Trying my own patience. What do you mean, trying your own patience? I'm not certain I have any faith left in me, Elise. You mean... I'm a hypocrite, Elise. Praying for folks when I no longer... You're far from a hypocrite, Lebkuchen. You're kind, you're dedicated, you're a rock for these folks.
Elise.
Whether that's true or not, Elise, I feel trapped. Same way you do, only with other obligations and in other ways as well. I'm torn between my duty and my feeling. Steal her hair, make a voodoo doll. What do you mean? What kind of feelings? Doesn't matter, Elise. It's not as though you...
Oh, shut it.
Oh, to hell with you, Lebkuchen.
Out with it.
I've had it with this nonsense. Be it your feelings or your lack of faith or what have you. You're done working yourself into the ground, and that's final. You know, it's not that easy, Elise. I also know overcompensating won't fix it, Lebkuchen.
For goodness sake.
Frighten me, for goodness sakes. I'm sorry. No more of that now. You need to get some rest. All right. Also, about these feelings of yours. There's nothing to fear, Leb. Not when it comes to me, all right?
Elise.
I'll come about tomorrow morning to spend time with you, all right? All right, I'll be waiting. I'm gonna sacrifice you! She wants it badly. How do you not know, Sanjit? I've said from the beginning, I chose her to be my love interest because if I have to give over my love interest to get what I want, I am sacrificing the nun. She is just a stepping stone on the way to fame, glory, and money. Find out what happened in the story next. Is it still morning? I don't think romantic dates actually skip time, thank God. What if Elise is a boy? She has a boyish charm to her. Wow! It's best I don't wander around too much. Wander. Would I do the other endings? If they're easy enough to grab, I'll definitely do some more endings. Now that we're all gathered here, folks. Oh, we're losing our minds, Father. This week hasn't been easy for Kieferberg, as we all know. That said, we have decided to ask Primmeldorf for support. Primmeldorf, you say? Cannot compromise the festival at all, as you understand. Certain we've considered every option, Father. Kieferberg isn't what it once was, Ludwig. We need their help. We will be patrolling the outskirts in the evenings as well. That should make sleep easier, that's for certain. The protection of Kieferberg and our neighbors is in order, folks. What happened to poor Apfel was bad enough. Oh, Father, but who is to carry out our nightly prayers? Naturally, the church's doors will be open to all regardless. What about the windmill and the fountain? There's still water in the well, Wilma. No need to fret. Oh, but who knows how long that well will last?
Oh, shut it!
It's not as though that fountain's sustaining the well, is it? What would you know, lassie? I'm at a loss regarding the fountain, if I'm honest. Wasn't there some sort of blockage, Mr. Ludwig? Ludwig, I'm assuming? We're gonna have to disassemble it. Why doesn't she try it, Finn? With those toothpick fingers of hers, I'd say she'd get the job done rather easily. Punch her! This isn't the time to provoke the lass, Wilma. She's so keen to stick her nose in everything, Ludwig. Might as well teach her a little lesson, wouldn't you say? Let's not get carried away, Wilma. We're not here to... Why, that's a terrific idea. Elise, that's dangerous. You'll get hurt. Oh, dear Lord. She's getting in there. I'll show you all. A snake! A black snake was in the fountain. Oh, Kieferberg is done for. A witch. It's the witch. The devil himself.
That's enough.
Can't lose our heads. We must remain calm. You folks can't. Calm? How are we to remain calm, Father? Everyone's dismissed. Back to work. Gustav and I will have a word about this. Head back to work. Next to the story, head back to work, play Kiss the Rat, or chop some wood. Fucking hell. Why is there an actual story thing? Hey. At least I was looking for you, dearie. Looking for me, Mrs. Matilda? You see, I was hoping you'd have a word with Ariane. I've been struggling quite a bit lately, you see. Struggling with what, Mrs. Matilda? I don't remember what Ariane looks like. Oh, it's rather embarrassing, but I can no longer do many of my house chores. This terrible tremor won't let me wash my dishes or my laundry. Mrs. Matilda, won't you tell her I need her to stop by tonight, Elise? I would tell her myself, but this would be the 4th time this week, you see. Of course, Mrs. Matilda. I'll let her know. I hear Mippy! You little bitch!
Muppy?
That's you! I have an offer for you, Elise. Out of my sight, Martha. I've had enough trouble for one day. Oh, but I think you'll like to hear this.
That's so.
Out with it, then. I don't have all day. But it wouldn't be for free. How about you give me some hearty soup? Why, I don't think so, Muffs. We had an agreement, Elise. Can't we sacrifice the sow instead? Seriously. You're lucky I don't want trouble, Mindy. I don't know what happens if you skip giving her something. Out with it now. What did you have to tell me? Oh, you're so generous.
With it.
Out with it, Mary, right now before you don't have to threaten me, Elise. Why, you threaten me every day, you little... I heard my auntie talking about a search. A search? Folks are losing their minds over that serpent you pulled out of the fountain. They will want to search everyone in town.
For goodness sake.
I'll put in a good word for you, Elise. But you ought to promise you'll bring me some apple shirtle tomorrow. Oh, to hell with you, Molly, out of my sight. Nellie's interference can weigh quite heavy. I'd best be prepared for tomorrow. I already have an apple strudel. I just need to not end up using it. Okay, we need to find Ariane. Whatever, I don't remember who she is. Can we sacrifice the Zoan stick? Can we sacrifice Muppy? I love the fact that we never say her name correctly. What is it, Maggie? This is Freya. Get the fuck out of my face. It's awful, isn't it, Elise? What, Father Hans said earlier? Everybody talking ill of each other behind their backs, Elise. Isn't that how it's always been? Oh, I know all that. Yeah, you hate it, is that it? I do hate it, Elise. That snake is going to get you quite the earful, too, I'd wager. Oh, to hell with that nonsense, Freya. You'll never reach old age if you keep fretting like this. It's not as though I can help it. She's well on her way to becoming just like them, that's what. Seeing the toll this is taking on Papa, too. Mr. Gustav does have a lot to worry about, I guess. He hasn't been spending much time at home, either. Always talking with Father Hans, with the lads. Folks aren't going easy on him, that's for certain. Why are you out of bed? Good grief, Lebkuchen. What are you doing here, for goodness sakes? I'm looking after the children. You were told to rest for the day, It's not as though I'm on my deathbed, Elise. Father Hans came about to tell me Mrs. Dorothea's class was cancelled. I took it upon myself to watch them is all. Still, Leb. Care about me, Elise. I know you do. You ought to take it seriously when I fret, then. I can look after myself, silly. I also happen to know pushing yourself too hard is one of your faults. Concealing your feelings, too, and putting others' needs first. Anything else? Vexing me, too. All I have to do today is spend time with the children, Elise. All right. I promise you I'll be heading home at nightfall. For goodness sakes! Okay, who the fuck's Ariane? What the fuck are you doing, Rosemarine? There's something I'd like to ask you, Elise. There's something I'd like to ask you too, Rosemarine. Ah, then you go first. Do you happen to know anything about that black serpent you pulled out of the fountain? That's what you were going to ask me about, huh? Black serpents are a bad omen, you see. There's something I haven't told you. What is it, Elise? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Can't bring myself to tell her about that serpent. I fed a sausage to Flock this morning. The sausage? It looked like he truly wanted it, and I couldn't... Oh, it's no wonder he was throwing a temper tantrum then. He must have wanted more, I suppose. Ah! Mrs. Ariane, I was meaning to ask you. Is it Mrs. Matilda? She says she needs you to help her out again tonight. Yes. Poor thing. Old age truly doesn't forgive, does it? When did this start, Mrs. Ariane? Oh, just last week, Elise. I caught her trying to wash her sheets by the well, you see. She could have asked me. Mrs. Matilda's rather stubborn, you know that. Tell her I'll be there right after supper. All right, Mrs. Ariane. Let's go and bring it back. She better give me some shit for this. Did you find her, Elise? Mrs. Ariane said she'll come by right after supper, Mrs. Matilda. Thank you, Elise. Here's something for you. A silk purse. You don't have to, Mrs. Matilda. Oh, it's the least I can do, my dear. There will come a day when I truly won't be able to do anything after all, because I'll be dead. Mrs. Matilda. She's not lying. Why do I feel like going in the well is the path to the other side that we're looking for? It's not what I wanted to do. Actually, hold on. If no one's inside the church, there a chance that there's a golden girl in here somewhere? Oh, fucking hell. What are you doing here? So, Saint Walpurga didn't used to be known as a saint. That was in one of the journal entries. Walpurga is the embodiment of the forest? And this is her symbol, which was known for her benevolence and her miracles that she used to work. Oh, it's my favorite group of people with Wilma. That absolutely will not do, Gustav. Wilma's right. What we all need is someone too. What are you two pestering Mr. Gustav for? They're all valid concerns, ladies, but I ought to say, no, I don't think you understand, Gustav. We must make certain there's no witch in Kieferberg. I have a suggestion, Mrs. Elma. We throw folks off the cliff, see if they fly or not. Very funny, Elise. The lass is right, ladies. We must be reasonable here. Things can only get worse if we don't act now, Gustav. Things could get better too, Mrs. Elma. Oh, all you want is to be in Gustav's good books, lassie. All I want, Mrs. Wilma, is some peace and quiet around here for once. That's why we must find the witch, lassie. Good grief. Oh, God. How is she here, by the way, when she's out over there? Oh, it's you. Elise, was it? Selling. $30. Dainty silk purse threaded in red ribbon and decorated with a flower motif. Maybe sold for a good price. You sure that's all, sweetheart? You have such lovely features. Did you know that? Maybe that's not Wilma. Alright. We can play Kiss the Rat or help Linda chop some wood. Fuck! Or we can head back to work. Where's the story event? Or is the story event head back to work? I guess we're chopping wood. Now the question is, do we bring the idiot with us so she stops talking? No, you know what? I don't care. Our suspicion is so far down, I am not bringing her with me. Oh, Elise, what's the matter, Mrs. Linda? One can't help but feel down with all these goings-on, huh? I suppose that's true. Oh, well, won't you chop some wood for me for the hearth? Of course, Mrs. Linda. I won't take too long. Be careful with that hatchet. Last thing we want is you getting hurt. No! Why don't they ask Freya to chop it for them instead? Freya does stand there doing, like, little, like, nothing. She just worries. I like how Gustav is here to monitor us. I think, Leb puts them out faster. We'll find out. She does. Shit. And we move slower. Stop putting non-wood things down! Ow! Also, Rosemarine puts down the special wood that gives us extra points, I've noticed. It's like a golden log, almost. Ah, shit. That better be at least an A. Be an A. Be an A. Don't be a B. Yeah, we'll take it. So we go from, what, 58? Let's see how much it actually gives us. I have a feeling it only gives us 30. It's a pass. Oh, this will do, I suppose. Here you go for your trouble. So it gives us 32. Thank you, Mrs. Linda. It's a lot less than if you got an A. Because an A gives 60. It's like half. It's a little bit more than half, but not by much. And Rosemarine makes it a lot easier to do them. What the fuck just happened? You've never seen it overflow like this. It's not even raining. That's what it's all about, I tell you. There's no such ill will in Kieferberg, Wilma. What's the matter? Oh, I'm certain he has something to do with it. Wilma's convinced someone's trying to sabotage her inn, at least. It's that Eugen, I'm certain. He's jealous my business is still up and running, that's what. Mr. Eugen holds no grudges against Kieferberg, Mrs. Wilma. Grudges against Kieferberg, you say? I understand he was responsible for the windmill yesterday, but Eugen wouldn't. Why, I happen to know someone who's very keen on holding grudges. You old hag! Don't start, you two. If there's anyone in this town who could do such a thing, it's you, Elise. Oh, we can't stand here pointing fingers at each other all day. Let us keep calm, folks. Losing our tempers isn't going to fix anything. What's wrong with the fountain now? Could you have damaged it earlier, Elise? That could very much be the case. I don't think so, but even if she had, it wouldn't be enough to cause this. What are we to make of this, then, Heinrich? How am I to know such a thing? It's not only the fountain either. The well is also... The well? It's overflowing, Elise. How can a well overflow? I'm at a complete loss. Let us wait and see. Why, I'm not about to sit and wait for my home to be flooded. I must say I don't agree, Father. It might be all we can do. It really is all we can do, Heinrich. Losing our minds won't help. We must persevere. This isn't looking too good for us here in Kieferberg, is it? Help Ludwig with the apples or help Marielle chop some wood. Oh, God, wood chopping. Wilma's such a bitch. She is. How are we doing as far as our hunger level? Ugh. There she is, Apfel. Why don't you ask her? Ask me what? Apfel's going over what happened yesterday, Elise. He's rather tired and... Saw her too, Elise. I know it. Someone kill him. Who did you see, Apfel? I didn't see anyone, Apfel. Oh, Elise, what are we to do about this? Commit him. I saw her. She had yellow eyes and You're tired, Apfel. I know it was frightening. I was frightened too. Elise is right, Apfel. It's best you rest now. Why don't you go play with Gruden and Jakob? Like, we're gonna give this child a complex. He's gonna be all like, I swear I saw something. We're all like, you're just insane. And the sooner you come to, like, that realization, the better things are. Elise. What's the matter, Rosemarine? Folks have been looking at me all day is all. You don't think they know. Probably because you've been going around town running your mouth again. They don't know anything, Rosemarine. We can't forget you're still a stranger to Kieferberg. I don't remember getting these looks on Monday, Elise. They're wary because of what happened today is all. I suppose. You know, if people want to burn you, that's fine. Your hat is pretty flammable. Oh, it's you. I'm buying. Am I buying, actually? Ah, oh, fucking hell. St. Walpurga's oil. Are you sure that's all? Goodbye. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Your hat is pretty burnable, too. We're not dealing with regular folk here. Oh, but what if it's not folk we're dealing with, Mr. Bernhard? Lord knows what could happen to Kieferberg at this rate. It's too much to keep track of, folks. The horses, Apfel, our grain being riddled with weevils, and now this flooding. I must say I'm at a loss myself. You, Mr. Gustav? All of Kieferberg is confused, Elise. Why, that's no surprise, is it? That we're wait, what? That rather than confused, I'd say that we're rather defeated. We're everything but defeated, Elise. Lass is right, Brunhilde. I wouldn't say she's right, Gustav. We've been slowly giving in to this witch, haven't we? Take inspiration from Elise herself. I'm not sure I'd go that far, Mr. Gustav. She did rescue Apfel, that's for certain. We have much to learn from the lass. You may be right, Gustav. We ought to stand strong. There. I could tell off Wilma and then get it dropped. What do you want me to do? You want... Okay. She wants me to chop some wood for her. Ah, how glad I am to see you, Elise. I must thank you for your hard work as always. What do you mean, Mrs. Mario? Well, you're still working hard despite everything. Lord knows what would be of me if you stopped helping. I suppose. That said, Elise, won't you please get me some firewood? I already have my hands full. Ah, don't fret, dearie, but tell me if you find the time later, all right? Should I just leave Rosemary to go around town running her mouth? I feel like that's the best option right now. Can't say I'm glad to hear that, lad. Hear what, Mrs. Elma? That I'm leaving, lass, for good. I thought you'd stay, Mr. Eugen. Don't think so, unfortunately. I would leave too if I were your age and with these goings on. You, Mrs. Elma? Kieferberg's changed, Elise. Things were different back in my day last Monday. More prosperous. Primmeldorf has more to offer young folks, that's for certain. Who would have thought? I mean, basically, it's been 5 days of, like, what's going on here? Why is all this shit just happening? And everyone's all like, it's the witch, the world is coming to an end, we need to all leave. I mean, granted, they are right. But they don't need to know that. Get out of here. Get out of here. What are you doing in here? Eek! Elise! Why are you hiding here, Miffy? You saw nothing. I'm not here. I'm at home sweeping and making the beds. Hiding from your aunt again, are you? Oh, please don't tell her I ran off. She's working me like a donkey, Elise. Is that so? Sweeping, washing clothes, cleaning out the chimney? I've had it, Elise. Mrs. Loreley has always been demanding, I suppose. She's not demanding, she's wicked. Wicked, you say? I do feel poor for Melly sometimes. Which one is Mrs. Loreley? I want to tell on her. Don't feel sorry for the girl that's blackmailing you, Elise. She's all like, oh no, but I do feel sorry at times. You're like, no, stop it. Just stop it. It's her. Old Joken's not going to waste his chance, I tell you. His chance to do what, Mrs. Loreley? Why, find the witch, Elise. I'm not certain we're to trust his judgment, Loreley. Father Hans isn't lifting a finger. Who else are we to rely on? All that old wretch has done so far is spread his nonsense about town. How are we to know if they're lies, lassie? I'm starting to think maybe he's been speaking the truth all this time. I wouldn't want to know what you think about me then, Mr. Tristan. Have you folks forgotten who he's been accusing of witchery? Why, that must be for a reason, wouldn't you say? Old Joken's going mad, folks. We're speaking out of fear. I wouldn't want to lend his notions any weight, but... I don't care. I'm not, like, backing Joken's ideas if people are all like, but it could be. I have one hat. Bitches. We need to... So I came here with the intention of... Okay. Would you lend me a hand, lass? What do you need, Mr. Ludwig? Let's hope you can pick some apples for me. Bertha's too busy wittering on about the witch to bother, you see. Of course, Mr. Woodlug. Is she too frightened to go to the orchard? Something along those lines. I'd say she's been rather tense, too. So that old hag's losing her wits for good, huh? Yeah, we'll bring Rosemary. How many apples do these folks need anyhow? That's a good question. They like, are always wanting apples. I like how the cabinet changes depending on if you have Rosmarina with you or not. Yeah. I didn't even see how many I got. I'm just trying to grab them. Rosemary does make this one easier for sure. She makes them all easier, technically. Ah, shit. But you don't lose a score if you grab the poison apple. It's like she just takes over. Ugh. Please tell me you got an S. It was pretty good, though. It's fine. That's 60, so... that's more than enough to get, like, something to, like, replace all of the bread used. Atta girl, Elise. Here you go for your time. Thank you, Mr. Ludwig. I'll be eating apple pie for a long while, won't I? Did he not give me 60? I feel like he gave me 50. You little bitch! You joining the patrols, lass? Why would I, Mr. Wilhelm? Makes two of us, then, I see. The lads won't let me go. The ingrates. Ingrates? Very much capable, despite my age. I see. You too, at least. You rescued the poor lad, and yet, if anyone should be out there, it'd be you. Maybe Elise could give it a try, Grun. Give what a try? Apfel won't talk to anyone about it. He won't eat, he won't sleep, he won't even talk to Mommy. This can't be good. Do you think you could try talking to him, Elise? Apfel says you saw it too, Elise. Saw what? He said there was someone else in the woods. A lass he didn't recognize. A lass? So you don't know anything about it, Elise? Of course not. Don't be silly, Jakob. Apfel says he doesn't want to talk about it, but... it's alright, Grun. Granny Marlin said he'll talk when he's ready. Speaking of which, Gustav, we ought to head on home, I'd wager. And don't dawdle, Elise. Everyone's to stay home this evening. Of course, Father. It's important we keep a good grasp on who's out and about tonight. What do you mean, Mr. Gustav? We're taking turns on patrol, you see. We must make certain the same thing doesn't happen again. What happened with Apfel, I understand. That's why you and your cousin had best stay home, Elise. Certainly, Mr. Gustav. This ordeal has been going on long enough. It's about time you do something, that's for certain. Heard it was a whole ordeal to get this grindstone down the hill. The worn-down, rough-looking grindstone sits as the centerpiece of a resting area. Fashioned out of an old barrel, the rickety cart rests cradling a couple worn-out buckets. Doesn't seem like this is what I should be using here. I don't remember if there was anything else down the tunnel. There was 2 different areas I'd gone to, which could potentially be constituted as where I needed to use that key. Don't forget, meet Leb Kuchen at the bakery. Why did that just show up? Have dinner with Rosemarine. So many times I've skipped that. Suppose I won't be getting in here anytime soon, huh? What are the chances that there's a keyhole around here? I think you need a question mark. Yeah, because I could select it, but it's not doing anything. We must do something, Marlon. Get a hold of yourself, Brunhilde. Is everything all right? Everyone's losing their minds, at least, that's what. There's no need to be so cruel, Marlon. Bernhard's out there, too. As he ought to be, Brunhilde. We need them to patrol. What are they patrolling for? They never see anything. Marla's right, Brunhilde. I'm certain they'll be all right. Elise has it right. She made it out of the woods, and with Apfel in tow. We must trust our men, Brunhilde. Not the one girl who's been successful, while the men have not been able to do anything. Oh god fucking damn it, Eugen. Stop going around town telling everyone how much you're leaving. You should be heading home, Elise. I know, Mr. Tristan. We're making certain folks aren't wandering about is all. I'm trying to keep folks at ease too, given the rumors. Folks are frightened and confused, Eugen. It's not personal. Relieved you'll be leaving Kieferberg next week, aren't you? More than you can imagine, Tristan. You'll be missed, Eugen. That I know for certain. It's a giant W on the... I'm trying to think where the hell you would use this. The only thing I was thinking of is the well. Elise, do you have a moment? Are you going to talk about Rosemarine again? For goodness sakes, what now? See, Elise, we've been wondering. It's best we don't, Ariane. What's the matter? Your cousin was telling us about how she got to Kieferberg, you see. Is it true she came all this way on foot, Elise? On foot, Mrs. O'Dilly? I don't recall. We wouldn't want to fret, but we thought that was very strange. Your cousin isn't being honest with you, lass. Ah, there was another thing we wanted to ask you. She told me to light a candle to keep the witch away, Elise. That's nothing but old wives' tales, Mrs. O'Dilly. I'll have a word with her, but she meant no harm, I'm certain. I'll be on my way home now, ladies. Good night. W equals Wombo. What the fuck? Oh my god! It's best you head on home, Elise, before it gets any darker. Where are you folks going? It's time we head out and patrol. We must make certain Kifa bugs out of harm's way. Even if you say that, Ludwig. You've been going on these patrols all week, and yet, all the more reason to keep doing it, lass. Finn's right. We need to look out for each other. All I want is to let them have it, be it the culprit or even the witch. Can't say I don't share the sentiment, Finn. At least we've managed to pick out those weevils somehow. I notice you've managed to fix the fountain. That happened on its own. We don't know how. Oh, I would show the bastard. If only we know who it was. Would they beat their own neighbors, I wonder. It's always lovely seeing you, Elise. I'm buying! Give me the Lebkuchen. Petty cash. Spend 500... Oh, it's called Tiffle. That's why it's tea. I'm gonna buy some loaves of bread, too. Practically broke now. Anything else? Some pretzels, maybe. See you, Granny. Ought to keep yourself well fed, you hear? Have we sacrificed her yet? No. Based on the time, probably gonna talk to Leb, and then we might end up saving it. I don't know. I feel like if I talk to Leb, we're gonna be... I feel like we're gonna be forced into the next part. What in the Lord's name are you doing out here, Lebkuchen? Waiting for your earful, it seems. I would have met you inside, for goodness sakes. Fine, Elise. You're making too much of it. You're bread. She's so good to us. You're out of your mind, Leb. Be that as it may, I still want to look after you. Have you considered that you can't do any of that if you're bedridden? I promise you I'll rest plenty tonight, Elise. We'll get another earful tomorrow, or if you're sick in the morning. Why, you almost make me look forward to it. Speaking of which, Elise, folks have been rather tense lately. I've noticed. I know you can look after yourself, but one good deed won't shield you from all of it, Elise. What do you mean? Folks have been talking ill about each other all day. Even Mrs. Mariel hasn't been spared, you see. There's no need to fret, Lab. I'll make certain I hold my tongue. Make certain you stay home as well. Did she notice I've been wandering about at night? Elise? Of course. Wait, what did she say? Yeah, Elise? Of course, Leb. And you need to stop fretting. We don't want you fainting again. I will in due time. Stop causing problems! Well, it's a big question of, like, what happens if we go home? Like, we're supposed to go home and have dinner with Rosemarine. We never have dinner with Rosemarine anymore. I'd best not wander about too far. But, I need to see if there's another golden girl around. Not that I'm seeing. I don't know if I've had one in her backyard yet, though. And they don't always appear in the evenings. They appear whenever. Wonder if there's something up there in that windmill. I don't know what that was about or what that thing was, but what I saw in there was a ritual of sorts. There's no doubt about it. There is so ominous at night every time. Yeah, and that's what I love about it. Motherfucker. Can you jump off of this? No. She can only jump off of certain things, I've noticed. Go this way. So this might be a huge mistake, but we're gonna try. Every time the hands come out of the wall, it fucks with our sanity. That. And I think being in the darkness fucks with sanity too. I've seen the symbol before, and I ought to wonder what this means. A man-sized sigil appears chiseled in the door's gritty surface, surrounded by uneven, scattered crevices. It does work in here. Diary entry number 3. A letter? It's torn, but I can't be convinced it was Walpurga, the witch, who's granted old Holly her sinful wish. No part of my research has corroborated her confession. None of it mentions him. I'm certain he, whoever he could be, is the key to old Holly's last words. Unfortunately, I must confess to my own sinful ways through this letter. As my only chance of salvation after what I am about to bring upon all of Kieferberg, there's no other way but to call upon Walpurga, the witch, myself. Once I meet this witch, I will be able to determine one of two things. Is that why the priest keeps on telling people to calm down, because he knows she's real? If she truly is our patroness, Saint Walpurga, and her reformed glory is dictated by the Lord, I can fully dedicate the rest of my life as a clergyman to her adoration and celebration of her miracles. If, however, she's not only a witch, but a demonic entity masquerading as one, I have no choice but to bring the Lord's justice upon hers and Elise's wretched souls, and end her reign once and for all. No, this can't be. This can't be true. I have to find out more. I have to break into his study. Ah, yes. That's the best way to do this. Catacombs key. Yet another key. There's a tag on it, though it's rather faded. Study. I think that's what it says. This is all I have now, I suppose. Father Hans' study. I ought to find a way to sneak in. Yeah, I see her sanity. Fucking hell. Let me in here. Why can't I get to that? Okay, we gotta get out. We gotta get out. I do not have enough stuff to deal with my sanity on this. And we're gonna get a spook in a second. That. Actually, I don't know if that does lower her sanity. I think just being in the dark there lowers it. So we have, what, a study key and a catacombs key? Well, everyone's super busy at the moment. Can't we just go back right now? We do not have much money. Everyone's like watching Elise run around. They're all like, we need to go out and go on patrol, make sure everyone's safe and sound. Everyone needs to be at home. And Elise is all like, you're gonna fuck with my sanity. Come here to pray. That's not the same. That's definitely not the same girl. No? It doesn't make a difference to you at this point, does it? You see, we Golden Maidens are conflicted beings. Huh? He saved us in a way. What with his blessings and sacrifices we made, it's enough to forfeit our right to divine salvation, isn't it? What are you trying to say? That I'd rather share eternity with him and his entourage than face my rightful punishment in the pits of hell. I remember seeking to Father Hans' study. Wait, do I not have a key? I just need to find another way in? Doesn't seem like this should be used here. I thought we found a study key. Alright, let's see. Should be able to use that key I found, but it doesn't seem like I can. If not for this door, then it's got to be something in there. Father Hans' study. I wonder when I'll be able to sneak in. There's going to be a day when he's going to leave the door open, I think. But I have the catacombs key in personally. I feel like this is it somehow. Because we haven't found anything like a catacombs anywhere. I think we're just gonna have to keep an eye out for his study. I went back there because I was gonna go and pick up either grape juice or I think I have enough. I have just enough money to pick up with St. Walpurga's oil, and there's no way I'm potentially going into the woods and not having one of those on me with my current level of sanity. Oh, it's kitties. I was like, what the hell is that? How can I help you, darling? I'm buying! Oh, it's 50. Motherfucker. Are you sure that's all, sweetheart? Goodbye. Let me know if you need anything else. I wonder if she restocks every day or if I've just bought all of the grape juice she will ever have. I have never really noticed or actually bought out something. You're just laying here and a spooter just sat on your phone. Oh, God. Alright. So I think this is... Eat Lebkuchen by the... Oh, that's for later. This is probably a good point to, like, go to a save point. I'm just stuck. I'm gonna do it here, but I'm gonna see if I can make it back to the house because I'd rather save at the house. The rate the game's going, we go through like one day pretty much every single time we play at this point. I have a feeling unlocking the other endings is a lot quicker since there's a lot of stuff we can speed through. But my goal from here on out is going to be to try and play this twice a week. Doing it like Thursday and Friday instead of just Friday. And I want to do the same with a Space for the Unbound. Space for the Unbound is supposed to be really short. I think this is actually longer than Space for the Unbound. But yeah, I'm planning on doing them a little bit closer together so that we see a little bit more of it a little bit faster. With that being said, I am going to send you guys off on a raid. I hope you had a wonderful time. I had a fantastic time. Isaac will be streaming tomorrow, as per usual. You are, right? And I will probably be streaming afterwards, going over the demos that I ended up pulling from Next Fest. Why don't you go and show some love to... You know what? Go and say hi to Craven. He's playing Elden Ring. Have a wonderful time. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.